I literally am detransitioning. I am so done with these bitches, dude. Put my tits back. Put them back right now. Mother is angry, kitten. You guys, I think today is a great day to smoke meth. If there was a day to do it, you guys, I think it's today. Hitler was also a human being. I wasn't really, like, you know, super bummed to hear that he died. I wasn't like, oh, Hitler's dead. Oh, I wasn't, like, super bummed about that. Like, please say psych. Please say psych. Please say psych, guys. Please say psych. Please say JK. Please. Please, 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 please. Please, I'll do anything. Please, you guys, please, please. If I was ever going to do hard drugs, I would do them right now. Right now, you guys. Right now. I would rather watch 1,000 ISIS beheading videos than see one still image of a human being being a dog. How expensive do you think it is to be in a medically induced coma for a few days? Stop. Where is the crack pipe? Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Let's go, lesbians. Let's go, lesbians. Let's go. This is Lily Orchard's response to Kim Possible.
Sorry for the stock footage in the background, but this isn't going to be one of those elaborately edited videos that hangs your attention on every single piece. So if you're the kind of person who gets pissy over yapping, I suggest you go jiggle your father's keys to amuse yourself. For those just finding this—
Oh no! I hate yapping! Oh god. This is gonna suck, guys. Ugh.
Video because some drama YouTuber just linked to it. My name is Lillian Valerie Orchard. I'm a YouTuber who does media critique that is predominantly focused on characters and themes. I've often gotten a reputation for being negative based on a minority of my videos, but my work actually takes concepts and ideas and unpacks them regardless of quality. I'm also a survivor of long-term physical, emotional, and sexual abuse that went on from my birth until I was about 26. This is important.
Okay, so she is alluding to, here at least, that she was sexually abused. I don't know if we get into this more, but this I think that this vindicates what I said earlier, where she has alleged that Cameron also abused her, unless she's going to spin out from the jump and say that Courtney abused her. But let's see.
Important to mention because I started my channel in 2009 when a lot of this abuse was still ongoing. So I've been working in the public eye and have had my interpersonal relationships scrutinized by the public while I was escaping my abuse and going to therapy and recovering. And I can't claim to have recovered or healed to a significant degree until I was 28. During that time, many of my old and new abusers have used my often erratic and strange behavior as a weapon against me. I have also been stalked incessantly on the neo-Nazi—
Okay, hang on a second.
I have had my interpersonal relationships scrutinized by the public while I was escaping my abuse and going to therapy and recovering. And I can't claim to have recovered or healed to a significant degree until I was 28. During that time, many of my old and new abusers have used my often erratic and strange behavior as a weapon against me. I have also been
strange and erratic behavior. Those words are doing a lot of lifting for us, my dear. I don't think that I would consider thinking dogs are hot to be strange and erratic. I think that I would use a much stronger phrase to describe that. This is going to be an interesting watch, you guys. New gender dropped, strange and erratic.
Stalked incessantly on the neo-Nazi forum Kiwi Farms and have had my address leaked in multiple places and have even been assaulted in real life, though I have no proof the assaults happened that wouldn't be extremely invasive to show. Over the years, my abusers, which include former friends who I broke things off with because they were abusive, have tried to deplatform me with increasingly extreme accusations, right up to weaponizing the right wing's rhetoric about trans people and even policing my ethnicity. For the most—
Oh man, we're pulling the fucking Ethel, where it's like, it's actually transphobia. You guys, surprise, transphobia. It's not that people, like, almost universally, like, cross-culturally, across all of space and time. It's not that, like, everybody fucking hates pedophiles. That can't be it. It must be because I'm trans. Okay, bro. Ooh.
For the most part, I've attempted to simply ignore these things and move on with my day. But after 12 years, it's reached the point I can't just ignore it anymore and decided to unpack all of this harassment. Granted, this video isn't going to cover everything. It mostly covers the accusations of me being a groomer, the accusations my sister has made, and someone's weird tangent about my heritage. If you're here asking about Madhouse or Iris and Kira or Scars or whatever other project you found in my back dumpster, you're gonna have to wait until another time. This is the important shit. If you're here expecting an apology for me being rude to you personally, well, it is actually here. Skip to the conclusion. Most of this video is taken from the videos of Ethel Thurston, with additional videos by I Love Kim Possible a lot.
I know her.
I will not be showing clips unless they're especially relevant, but I will have the video we're discussing here, and the timestamp in question just underneath it. And just because I know someone will ask, I'm going to put the music down here. Some of these videos contain references to other videos or claims I won't be covering, which will not be acknowledged. Like I said, this is important stuff. You can find all or...
I missed the incest art of Courtney. Where? What the this? This is the incest art of Courtney?
Dumpster. You're gonna have to wait until another time. This is the important shit. If you're
further
here
back. Well, this is when this is when she starts.
Granted, my sister has made, and someone's weird tangent accusations of me being the incest groomer, thing? The accusation.
This is the incest art from the thingy-majig? That's what this is? Oh no. Oh god, guys. Pray for us. Pray for us.
My sister has made, and someone's weird tangent about my heritage. If you're here asking about Madhouse or Iris and Kira or Scars or whatever other project you found in my back dumpster, you're gonna have to wait until...
Okay, we already listened.
Personally? Well, it is actually here. Skip to the conclusion. Most of this video, repeat. I will not be showing clips unless they're especially relevant, but I will have the video we're discussing here, and the timestamp in question just underneath it. And just because I know someone will ask, I'm going to put the music down here. Some of these videos contain references to other videos or claims I won't be covering, which will not be acknowledged. Like I said, this is important stuff. You can find all or most of the links down in the description below, so if you want to just poke through this stuff yourself, you can go right ahead. And fair warning, I'm not going to be diplomatic about this. I am very angry that I've been lied about and harassed for this long.
Mother is angry, kitten.
And I fucking deserve this.
Jesus Christ.
So
that's my bad, bro. Sorry, guys.
Rachel Cohen made a video trying to aggregate all the accusations against me, but in typical Rachel fashion, it's made up of other people doing the actual work, while she sits there telling people to like and subscribe, so we won't be talking about Rachel very much herself. She opens her video with a discussion about me supposedly faking being indigenous.
Okay.
Full disclosure right up front.
I'm
my
sorry.
family is Cherokee on my mother's side. My grandfather's grandparents had to hide their identity because of racism, because it was the late 1800s, so my grandfather, and by extension his 5 children, were largely displaced from their heritage. Especially since my grandfather was in the military and ended up being stationed in Canada and made roots there. My Aunt Sharp moved to Ottawa as an adult and started...
Is this actually the ant, or is this a stock image? This is actually the ant?
Tracing all this down, which led to the remaining members of the family slowly reconnecting over time. Granted, not everyone has. My sister and brother largely rejected their heritage, though my brother kind of turned around on that after having 2 Inuk children. And I did it first, but I've been slowly reconnecting with it as well. It's been especially slow for me because I'm the black sheep of the family, and there's a great deal of bad blood and bitter feelings involved. Everyone in my family had a hand in severely hurting me when I was a child, 2 of them, far more than others, and to date only one of them, my mother, has offered anything close to remorse or an apology. So doing anything with the family is an emotional ordeal. I have never suggested to be an authority on indigenous issues. I have issues with the word Indian, but that's because I'm an eternal pedant. I am reconnecting and will do so at my own pace, but I am always making that clear to people if they ever try to go to me to get their opinions on indigenous issues affirmed. Anyway, because some people don't like me, and I guess going after an indigenous woman is too much for their conscience to bear, they've been trying to accuse me of being a pretendian, usually citing my skin tone. So KP dragged someone in who...
Well, I think the concern is more like, I have no brain cells right now. I can't remember that guy, the guy that was just in here, the one that did the video that was talking about the native stuff. That dude was just in here. Anyway, like the issue is more so like disconnection from like your heritage, right? Where it's like if you have someone who is not native by blood, who is raised on, you know, the reservation as a native person, they're like more culturally considered native than somebody who is like full-blooded, quote unquote, native, but doesn't have any relation or ties to their culture, right? This is gonna be it's gonna be a watch, guys. Fuck.
Who claim to be an expert on investigating claims of pretendianism. Matt's section is largely reserved for a document attached to the video, which starts with preface. This section was penned specifically by an unenrolled descendant of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians and an Apache affiliation of unclear origin. Unenrolled. So this person has the same ancestral claims that I do. For those not aware about how being Indigenous works, enrollment is 90% of your status as an Indigenous person. If you're enrolled in your tribe and you're a recognized member, congratulations, you don't have to prove anything else to anyone ever again. If you're not, and you have a claim, you have to remain keenly aware of that at all times. You are entitled to your heritage, regardless of your enrollment status, and the experiences of displaced Indigenous people are varied and confusing at times, and a lot of us are afraid of talking about it because of shit like this. The speed at which—
So I will be, I'll be clear here as a honky, a simple honky. For someone who is like generally pretty, this is a little over my head. So in listening to this, like I could understand why someone who is white would like just believe what she's saying. Like, I could understand why somebody who is not Indigenous or isn't familiar with any of this shit would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, because this is over my head for sure. I definitely don't connect with that at all. My wife is out of town, Dormio, so we get extra bro time. Does it matter if she has Indigenous claims? Why is it relevant to her PDF allegations? I think, like, Rolsk, I think that it's in relation to her, like, claiming that people who are, like, calling her out are being, like, racist, basically. Like, oh, you're calling me out because you're racist towards Indigenous people. So you kind of have to unpack if she's, like, actually fucking Indigenous or not. Even if she was Indigenous, it obviously isn't an excuse for her behavior. But the criticism is that she uses her quote-unquote Indigenous heritage to say like, oh, well, you're just attacking me because you're racist, basically.
Which you reconnect and enroll is completely up to you. But if you aren't enrolled, it would be a very stupid idea to try and speak on anything with authority. Anyway, Matt immediately starts speaking with authority, and it has to be seen to be believed, because I swear they just Googled First Nation status and went from there. They state right up front that blood quantum is a harmful notion in the community, and then start focusing entirely on blood quantum. Again, for those who aren't
excuse me. We just watched this video. Matt was going on about, like, explaining what blood quantum was. I don't think that Matt was, like, going in defending blood quantum. That isn't what happened. It's convenient that she's not showing the clips. That is a very wise move on her part in not showing the clips. Because if you don't hear verbatim what they're saying, you're gonna trust her recollection. Your fucking Lily Orchard simp is gonna look at this and say, oh, she's so honest and trustworthy. She put the timestamps. So she has all the receipts right here. I trust that she, you know, pulled all the receipts. I'm not gonna go and look for myself. Wise move. Wise move. Very cunning. Well, it's a very, 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 very good tactic. When you want to like feign authority on something, but you know that you're wrong. It's a good way to do that. Crossover example. This is what Liana Kersner did. When she went over the Poppy Amory docs, she didn't show any of them on screen. You're trusting her retelling of events, because the link, quote unquote, the link is down below. So you're trusting this content creator that you like to recount these events correctly to you, And you're taking, you know, them saying, here are the links below to say like, oh, they're acting in good faith. I don't have to go and look. They're already showing me good faith by saying that they have the receipts available. Very, very, very smart way of doing that. If you, you know, don't know what the fuck you're talking about and you're just making shit up. Very, very clever. Very, very clever. She's not stupid. I'll give her that. She's not fucking stupid at all. Very sneaky.
To where blood quantum is the amount of native blood you have. It's how mixed you are. The vast majority of indigenous people are of mixed heritage, so the US federal government imposed a restriction on native people in that you need to have 25% blood quantum in order to be considered indigenous. Why did they do this with only indigenous people and not black or Hispanic people? To restrict tribal growth and prevent indigenous people from claiming their heritage. The US government has been basically trying to starve out the tribes for years so they can move in and claim their sovereign territory. If that all sounds like open and brazen genocide to you, that's because it is. Tribal populations will decline steeply over the next 100 years if they keep enrollment at 1/4 blood quantum. That is the entire purpose of blood quantum. So this person recognizes that and then proceeds to just...
Yeah, that is true. She is Canadian. That is true. So, I mean, we're talking about the US government here. That doesn't really apply to us as Canucks. Stolen valor.
Spend the next majority of this fussing over my fucking blood quantum. And here's a take from 5 years ago, let's act like that still matters. They then proceed to nitpick the color palette of my puppet, which is light-skinned, just like I am in real life. But apparently,
oh, because that's the music.
exact
This is the music that she's listening to.
hex code people want from me, and then bitch about the fact that the puppet wears feather earrings. I like cute, tacky things like fuck you. The last claim this person makes is that I have changed my tribe my family comes from and that my grandfather wasn't Cherokee. They get this information from Courtney, who is just making shit up. My grandfather is Cherokee. You could Google him. It's on every... is just making shit up. My grandfather...
American veteran connects with his indigenous heritage in Ottawa. Hank Doppler visits Wanabo Center citizens twice a week for traditional teachings and craft.
Is Cherokee. You could Google him. It's on every...
An American veteran who served in 3 wars is finally connecting with his Cherokee heritage. Isn't this like a step grandpa? Okay, so walk me through this. Hold my hand and walk with me. Gentle parent me right now. Hank is maternal grandpa, paternal grandpa, maternal grandpa, but blood related or not blood related. So maternal grandfather. Okay. So is maternal grandpa Cherokee? No, he's not Cherokee. Okay. Why does he think he's Cherokee? Okay, so it's just different tribes. Who told him that he was Cherokee? Like, where did this get lost in translation? The 3rd tribe has no living ancestors, and Cherokee is the closest to it. So it's like associatively, he's saying that he is Cherokee because it's the closest to whatever tribe he was actually a part of, but he's not actually Cherokee. People reported it wrong. Okay, so he's not actually Cherokee. It was reported on wrong. He's a different tribe, and one of the tribes doesn't have any living ancestors, and the closest tribe to that, like, I want to say extinct, but that sounds like the wrong word to use. But the no longer existing tribe, the closest one to that is Cherokee. It's because they didn't bother to get the tribes in. Okay, so Cherokee is just like thrown in there on accident. Okay, got it.
Everything that mentions him. There are news articles about him. There's no doubt that the family claim is Cherokee, so Courtney accusing this of being a lie is itself a lie. All of this person's information just comes from Courtney, who they are taking at face value based on what? Well,
I would imagine they're taking Courtney's, like, quote-unquote narrative because Courtney is actually, like, in contact with the family. So, like, she's probably getting more accurate information by, Lily's own admission. She's estranged from the family, no. Just a thought. Just a thought.
Given the fact that they devolve really hard into complaining about how I lose my temper with people who bother me about this, they're essentially claiming you didn't keep your cool under years of harassment from invasive randos, therefore you're sus. And hanging on the fact that I have feather earrings, like they're clearly bothered. They're clearly bothered about me, and so are taking people at their word if they reaffirm Mad's narrative. This is why they straight up lie about my grandfather's tribe, because 90% of their claim I'm faking is based on blood quantum, and the Cherokee Nation does.
I mean, it's not about blood quantum. It's about, like, one, claiming ancestry and lineage that isn't there. And she is using blood quantum as a justification for why she's native, because it was her maternal grandfather who was native. She is using the blood quantum argument. And it's not only that, it's that she's disconnected from the heritage, right? Like, to my understanding, a big part of native culture is like your like familiarity with tradition and like your closeness with the tribe and all that other shit. Like that's what they care about. So like you could be like full-blooded fucking Native American, but if you don't have any ties to your heritage or your ancestry, it's kind of like, well, who cares?
Doesn't use blood quantum. So many of their arguments are based around federal status and not tribal membership. And that's because Mad is an unenrolled indigenous person scolding another unenrolled indigenous person.
It is indigenous Rachel Dolezal. That's what we have going on right now.
For having the exact same credentials that they do, but who talks openly about the experience of reconnecting with their culture and is honest and upfront about being a displaced indigenous person. Did I buy those earrings because it made me feel the tiniest bit closer to my aunt, who I'm not particularly close with, but who I always thought was really cool? Yes, viewer. Yes, I did. Do I own a dream catcher because I'm a basic bitch? Actually, no. My mother gave this to me when I was 7 after coming home from Oklahoma where she'd been visiting her father. So its meaning to me is entirely sentimental. I've had this dream catcher for 25 years. I've had this longer than I've been reconnecting with my own heritage. It predates my awareness of my family history. Sure, it might be something my mother picked up from a craftswoman thinking, oh hey, my kids will like these, but its meaning to me is what matters. My mother was always trying to get me interested in my heritage, and one of my bigger regrets is not being more receptive to it. Especially now, after she's been the only one to offer me a sincere apology for how I was treated as a child. Is Mad this open and upfront about their relationship?
Courtney, may I ask why? I think I asked this earlier, but I'm being more specific in my wording. Why is she estranged from your family? Is it these shenanigans that we are observing here, or is it like other shit? Oklahoma, bro. Oklahoma, bro. All bad things come from Oklahoma. All bad things. Well, those are like Wish. Those are like shitty Wish fucking feathered earrings. Very cool. Very cool. For childhood behavior, okay.
With their own heritage? I don't know. I didn't check. But given the aggression with which they weaponize the wrong info and even rhetoric that skirts the orbit of genocidal, I'd be hard-pressed if they did. It sounds to me, at least, that Mad not meeting the requirements for enrollment in their tribe bothers them, and they're taking it out on me. But if you're displaced...
Oh, we're getting a true Darvo. We're getting a true Darvo. It's so... it's just interesting to listen to. Like, obviously, when you're sitting on the outside, it's very easy to be like, oh, you're like having, like, shower arguments, right? It's very easy to notice when you're not, like, in the throes of the shenanigans and what have you, but it is so interesting to listen to. You know, when you're looking for a specific answer. Oh wow, it's just what a treat. What a treat.
From your family's tribe, you're still entitled to embrace your heritage in however way you want. A pretendian is someone who takes up attention and money that would go to indigenous organizations. I'm not someone who does public speaking on indigenous issues, and I always say that I'm displaced, assimilated, and reconnecting, and you should ask someone else. These are not things a pretendian...
I don't think that anyone is like... It's not about like getting advice about like tribal traditions or whatever. It's like using that identity to hide behind and to like dodge accountability, where you're quite literally saying like, no, like you're only attacking me because I'm native. That is the criticism. The pointed criticism is that you aren't like native in the way that you say you are, and that people are like justifying in their own way calling you a pretendian because one, you have the tribe wrong, two, you're not, like recognized or connected to the tribe in any meaningful way, and then three, because of that, your use of it to say like, oh, you guys are only attacking me because I'm native is like completely void, and it doesn't matter because like in any meaningful way, you're not. Watching monkey dance like this is very fun when you can hear it, when you're looking for it. Watching monkey dance is very fun.
Does. You're taking part in the harassment of another indigenous person based on the lies their abuser is spreading. Lies you can easily check and refuse to. And I'm not even going to hold this against them. A lot of people have been tricked into being a part of this harassment mob. Outside of Brittany, Patch, Courtney, KP, and Ethel, if most of these people backed away and stopped talking about me, everything would be forgiven. I don't want an apology or a public retraction. I just want to be left alone. I know it's common online to expect people who've wronged you to prostrate themselves in public for the next several years, but I don't. Just leave me the fuck alone.
This is kind of fun.
So KP then interviews Courtney, which we're going to get into later because I'm saving Courtney for the last. Before moving on to her attempt to harass Sketchy.
That sounded like a threat. That sounded like a threat. Okay. I'm concerned about some of the recent Lily stuff. You're allowed to do what you please, but I wanted to try talking to you if you're interested. I'll leave it be. I'm not really comfortable discussing my friends when they're not around, unfortunately. I'm happy to discuss with the third party if needed. No, thank you. Wow, I didn't expect you to even try to hear me out. Well, I can't say I didn't try. Okay,
Sketchy
very
by
boring.
claiming Sketchy refused to hear her out. Basically, she wanted to talk to Sketchy about all these accusations made against me, and then show screenshots that makes it very obvious that she's lying. Sketchy says rather plainly, I am not comfortable discussing my friends when they're not around, to which KP offers adding a third party whose relation to the case she had yet to disclose. But she is unfortunately missing the point. Sketchy did not want to have this conversation while I wasn't present, so the third party had to be me. And I know that
that wasn't clarified though. Like, I would read this differently. I would personally read this as I'm not comfortable discussing my friends when they're not around, unfortunately. I would read that as like, I'm not going to talk about this unless like the person that we're talking about is present. That's how I would read that. So this just might be a little tism moment, but that is how I would read that. But it seems like this was actually like just a miscommunication. That's at least that's what I am implying.
This because I have the rest of the DM. Sketchy was willing to have this conversation, but only if it wasn't behind.
I think learning about ancestors and respecting culture is cool. The issue becomes when people confuse it with firsthand experience with racial oppression. Like, I'm 20% white, but I would never get away with saying that. Racism is dumb. You're treated your entire life based on how close you took, how you look to N-words is where you're from. Well, and there's like, I think like indigenous issues are exceptionally hard to talk about because there's so much that goes into indigenous issues because of like the history of blood quantum shit and the history of, you know, like intentionally fucking up indigenous bloodlines or restricting people from learning about their indigenous heritage or building numbers in tribes by saying that you have to have this percentage of blood or whatever to be considered native. Generally, I agree with you, young black economist. I can, off the top of my head, I'm sure there's exceptions to this, but I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But I would completely fucking agree with you that a big, like, I would say an overwhelming portion of privileges and disadvantages in society are going to come from how you're perceived. Like, if you are somebody who is, you know, Latino or indigenous, but you're mixed and you look white, you aren't going to have the same kind of experience with race as somebody who looks, you know, Latino or indigenous, somebody that has those traits that are associated with that. And it's really hard to have those conversations because people obviously don't like having their identities erased, which is fair. But privileges and oppression are really, really heavily rooted in how you look. So you're right, even if you do have somebody who is like technically Native American or indigenous, but they don't look like it, they look like a white person, it's going to be really hard for you to say like, oh, well, people were being racist towards me. And it's like, I mean, yes, but also like, it's hard to quantify that, right? It's a touchy issue. It's a touchy issue.
Behind my back. I had to be there to defend myself against unfounded accusations, and KP didn't want that because I openly deny the accusations. It's also worth mentioning that Sketchy is aware of everything that's said about me. Like, when Courtney popped up, I was in my private channel with my friends talking about it. So Sketchy isn't somebody who's been kept in the dark about the accusations. He is aware of them. He is fully aware of them, and he is aware of the level to which they are false. So when KP said that no.
Well, and again, as a honky, you know, as somebody who is not indigenous, I would imagine, this is just me, I would imagine that somebody who is like trying to reconnect with their like, you know, indigenous culture or values or anything like that, that you would be really mindful to not like appropriate those experiences. Like just say like hypothetically tomorrow I take like a 23andMe and it turns out that I'm like, I don't know, let's just say like 60% like Native American or indigenous. Let's just say I take a test tomorrow and it's like, holy shit, like I am actually the Cherokee, like princess white girl. Holy shit, this is crazy. I would be exceptionally cautious and exceptionally uncomfortable with suddenly jumping on the bandwagon of, oh my God, everybody's being racist to me because I'm Native. When I don't know anything about the Native experience. I don't know anything about that culture. I don't know anything about like that heritage. I don't know anything about that way of life. I don't know anything about those experiences. Like, is somebody who would want to be sensitive, like, oh shit, like I'm actually a part of like this culture that I didn't even know that I was a part of. I would be like very uncomfortable just coming out and somebody's like, Malcolm, you're an idiot. And I'm like, racist. Like I would be very uncomfortable doing that. That does not feel appropriate. Maybe that's just a me thing, but if I was wanting to be respectful to the culture that I was looking to learn about and then assimilate into, I certainly wouldn't be talking like that. Not at all. Like, and again, maybe that's a me thing. But I don't know, dude. That would not be me. That would certainly not be me. That is for sure.
Nobody would hear her out. She lied. KP straight up lied. She even tries to gaslight Sketchy by claiming he's choosing
the gaslighting. Fine, I wish you well then. That being said, I'm personally disappointed and honestly a little put off that you were choosing your personal comfort, I assume, over ethical practicality and principles. But I can't lead a horse to water kind of thing. Feel free to reach out if you choose to do so. Conversation is over. Sketchy says, respectfully, the ethical thing for me to do would not talk about someone behind their back. As I said before, I would have done the same thing if someone asked me about you. This is not gaslighting. This is somebody just like being direct. Like gaslighting is tricking somebody into thinking that their perception of reality is wrong. So, you know, when I come home drunk from the bar for like the 8th time this week, somehow I managed to go to the bar 8 separate times in 7 days, but it's a skill, okay? And my wife is like, all you do is fucking party. I can't believe that you were out again. And I'm like, babe, I literally don't even party that much. Like, I swear to God, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, you're just misremembering. Because remember, yesterday, it was for a friend's birthday. And then the day before that, remember, I told you, it was I was just stopping to get something to eat. Like, I wasn't even drinking, babe. Like, you're blowing this out of proportion. Like, you're just not remembering. I told you where I was going to be. And I told you that I wasn't going to be drinking. That's gaslighting. I'm, like, trying to, like, trick my wife into believing something that isn't true to get out of trouble, essentially. That's what gaslighting is. Somebody directly saying, like, I'm kind of disappointed that you're not, you know, practicing your principles. That kind of sucks. Reach out if you want to talk. I'm done talking to you. That is not what gaslighting is. That's like being incredibly clear and transparent with your intentions. Like, gaslighting by definition serves to, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Obscure. Gaslighting is an obfuscation technique. This is the opposite of that. Oh God. First live on stream and needing double IPAs to get through this dog shit. Welcome! I'm so happy that you're here. I'm glad that you're having fun.
his own personal comfort. Nope. No, he wasn't. He would have had this conversation if I was present.
Oh,
something
Maddie.
He would have also done if she had been accused of something or someone approached her. Sketchy refuses to talk about a friend behind their back, which is a perfectly fine boundary to have. KP then goes on to show a recording of her.
I mean, it really depends, don't you think, guys? Like, I don't know. Somebody's like, Malcolm, are you willing to talk to me about how this person is a horrible, like, abuser and, zoophile pedophile? And I'm like, sorry, I don't believe in talking about people behind their back. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Confronting me about Courtney. Minor correction, this happens before the sketchy DMs, but I'm not going to go back and rewrite this section because I'm disrespectful like that. Where she confronts me about Courtney's accusations.
Okay.
Among a few other
Giga
things,
Chad,
but this is the only important part. I deny the accusations and point out how Courtney has been on a transphobic poison-spitting brigade, which I have screenshots for. And point out how Courtney is
These are from, where's the screenshot on these? Oh, this was a year ago and you're not proud of it. Okay, okay. This was a year ago. Jerry's a pedophile who lies about everything. My brother. Well, and again, so like, let's try and remember where we are in this conversation. Let's try and remember where we are in the thread of accusations. The accusation here is that Lily Orchard is a zoophile, abusive, pedophile, rape molester. Okay? Those are some pretty heavy accusations. And normally, when people are refuting allegations and accusations, they're going to put their best foot forward. We are in the third segment of this video, and we are bringing up a year-old screenshot to say that Courtney is transphobic, therefore her criticisms aren't valid. Unfortunately, monarch, queen, whatever you prefer, this isn't doing it for me. I truthfully do not care if the accuser is a transphobe. What I care about is the veracity of the allegations. If the allegations are, this person is an evil rape molester, and your response is, that guy's a transphobe, that does nothing for me. That does nothing for anyone with any thinking capacity higher than that of a ripe squash. You are being accused of something horrific and heinous, and your strongest defense is, she was transphobic to me. Really? Really? Think that's enough? You think that's gonna do it, bud? Because it's not.
Has been on a transphobic poison-spitting brigade, which I have screenshots for. KP's counterpoint was, and you're gonna love this, the accusations were too severe for someone to just lie about.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
KP, people have made worse accusations about you. Never mind that trans people get accused.
What are the worst allegations against KP? That she owned slaves because people were editing videos for her for free? That equals slave? That having slaves who are editors who edit for free is worse than being accused of being a dog fucker and a kid fucker? Are you smoking crack? Truthfully, you guys, I don't think that there is a worse allegation than somebody who is willing to hurt children. I think that is probably the worst thing that you could possibly be accused of. What? Okay.
Accused of preying on minors all the time. Never mind that when you
What?
don't have...
Stop. Where is the crack pipe?
Just go on the internet and tell lies?
KP, people have made worse accusations about you. Never mind that trans people get accused of preying on minors all the time. Never mind that...
I literally am detransitioning. I am so done with these fucking bitches, dude. I'm fucking done. Put my tits back. Put them back right now. Put my tits back. I've had enough. Put them back! Oh my god. Bro. I have an evil statement brewing inside of me that I need to push down. We need to center. We need to center. Calming thoughts. Calming thoughts. We're having fun. We're having bro time. Calming thoughts. You guys, I think today is a great day to smoke meth. If there was a day to do it, you guys, I think it's today. I have a really, like, radical take on, like, this kind of shit in general. Everybody hates it because it's very soy, it's very virtue signal, it's very, like, pedophile's bad, like, you know, everybody's like, we get it, pedophile's bad or whatever. I truly don't give a flying fuck that of what happens to people like this. I don't care. I don't care. Like, people are like, but Malcolm, like, they're human beings. It's like, yeah, that's totally fine. Hitler was also a human being. I wasn't really, like, you know, super bummed to hear that he died. I wasn't like, oh, Hitler's dead. Oh, I wasn't, like, super bummed about that. Like, I personally think that people that are willing to, like, harm children in that way, I don't think they don't get any empathy from me in any capacity. I think they deserve nothing. I don't, like, and it does such an incredible disservice to, like, use this as a constant fucking shield. Like, this goes beyond, like, the silly little Poppyverse memes that we make. This goes beyond, like, you know, the memes or whatever and, like, everybody calling trans people a groomer. This bitch is actually sick in the fucking head. This bitch has actually physically hurt other human beings. Like, actually hurt children. This bitch is, like, sick and fucking twisted. Like, at what point are we just like, okay, actually, instead of hormone replacement therapy, I think that you need, like, permanent institutional therapy. Like, at what point are we like, please, like, there are other things going on in your life. Like, I just can't fathom it. And maybe this is just a me thing, you guys. I'm open to constructive criticism for a period of time. Okay, maybe this is just a me thing, and maybe I'm being reactive. Maybe that is the case. Okay, perhaps that is. I'm going to take a deep breath in through the mouth, out through the nose, and just kind of chill for a second. But like, I cannot fathom why we have to play nice with people like this. I truly don't. And you know, if it comes out, let's just say, hypothetically, if it comes out that Courtney has been lying this whole time and Lily Orchard really did anything, I'll eat my fucking underwear on live stream. I will eat my fucking underwear on live stream. I will swallow them whole. Okay? But like, there is a lot here to look at. And I just don't care about like people that behave like this. I don't think that there is a place for people like this in polite society. I just don't care. If you're willing to like do this to other people, especially vulnerable people, tiny humans, if you're willing to do this to tiny humans, I just don't care. I just don't care. That is my hot fucking take, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, let's finish the section,
When
guys.
you don't have a significant social media presence, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by doing it. Never mind that this is literally policy in some states. KP decides my denying of the accusations carries less weight than her making them because she just decided that was the case. She then decided to offer to mediate a call between me and Courtney, and are you fucking kidding me? Oh boy, yeah, I sure would love it if the Queen of the Lollipop Guild organized a call between me and my abuser, like we're on an episode.
The Queen of the Lollipop Guild. Is that a Lolicon reference? Maybe I'm just like brain poisoned from the fucking Vosh discourse. Is that what she means? Does she mean like Lollipop Guild as in like the Lolicon thing? Like the Ethan Klein joke? Is that what she's talking about?
Episode of fucking Smiling Friends just because she's a gullible shit with all the political awareness of a drunk sparrow in a rave. Fuck you. Some people were surprised at how abruptly I ended the call.
What? Are we okay? What? What, bro? What, bro?
When KP said she wasn't comfortable with the accusations made against me. I just said, all right, bye, and left and blocked her on everything. Simple reason for that, I don't want to be friends with anyone who believes any of this garbage. And that's something I'm entitled to do. I didn't yell, I didn't scream, I didn't call her any names, I just said bye and left. You're not comfortable being friends with me because of the accusations made against me? Fine. Bye. I'll set whatever boundaries I want, thanks. It wasn't that quick, honestly. The fact that for a while, KP would jump into my streams and immediately ask to self-promote before even engaging with the conversations always rubbed me the wrong way. But I mean, she did at least ask first. I guess I can't hold it against her. And you can go back over the podcast we did talking about personal trauma where I bring up most of this stuff and she's just kind of disinterested in anything that isn't about her. We just kind of accepted that. I mean, it's not that KP was a shitty friend.
You guys, if you don't soy out about my trauma in chat right now, you guys are being bad friends. Just as a heads up.
It's just, she was just kind of there, and it was just something that made cutting the thread upon KP crossing my strictest boundaries easier to do. This isn't even to call KP a bad person for being an aloof, self-centered weirdo who's
Rachel has PTSD and that makes you odd in the head.
always disassociating. It's just that all that stuff made me realize I wasn't really gonna miss her. KP ends her video claiming I can't debunk this because she uses hard evidence. We've gone a bit into why she hasn't, and more is to come. But in general, you should always be extremely suspicious of any accuser who tries to convince you not to listen to the accused's response. There's red flags.
I feel like I'm having a
stroke.
stroke. Did she ever say, don't listen to Lily's response? Am I having a stroke? I didn't hear that one time. I never heard, don't listen to Lily. I didn't hear that at all.
An air raid siren and flashing lights.
Oh no.
Okay, so Brittany's been having a fit for the last decade, but all of her
Later,
issues
garbage.
with me were summarized in her section of this one video. So we're going to use that. Brittany accuses me of harassment, coercion of sex acts, accusations of a sock puppet, and accuses me of being attracted to minors and
Is she gonna try and say that that Terra profile was fucking real? Oh no. Please say psych. Please say psych. Please say psych, guys. Please say psych. Please say JK. Please. Please, 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 please. Please, I'll do anything. Please, you guys, please, please. Please tell me she's not gonna pretend it was real. Please. Oh no. Ah! Kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. No.
Animals, that's a new one. Anyway, when Brittany makes all these claims, she proceeds to
Thank
say
you,
that
Matt
the
Cherne.
chats are lost. How convenient. You're gonna see a lot of that. By
Okay,
the
wait,
way.
hang on. Okay, we're breathing through it, you guys. I feel like I'm...
Brittany accuses me of harassment, coercion of sex acts, accusations of a sock puppet, and accuses me of being attracted to minors and animals. Animals, that's a new one. Anyway, when Brittany makes...
Is it really a new one, though? Is it really?
all these claims, she proceeds to say that the chats are lost.
Okay.
How convenient. You're gonna see a lot of that, by the way. Except not really, because she...
But she did show... She showed that there were screenshots of her in, like, messages. It was only the Skype messages that got lost. She had messages from Facebook Messenger of Lily saying that she fucked the dog. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Oh, dude.
actually does show chat logs, allegedly of me and her, with the ends of our surnames to identify us, using it as proof of me prompting unwanted physical roleplay. The physical roleplay being a cuddle. But what's even better...
To be honest with you, I would say that I was assaulted if somebody sent that to me. That would definitely cross my threshold into assault. Yes, 100%.
Better here, like, is that her screenshot, it shows her initiating it. She accuses me of prompting an unwanted snuggle, and then the screenshot is of her prompting the snuggle. I have to laugh, because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Especially with this next one, because it actually visibly made me angry. Brittany brings up a claim about a sock puppet account, and accuses me of using it for coercion. The chat logs of this account are shown multiple times, but they have no name, no profile picture, and no timestamp. This is what Brittany uses to...
I actually know the person alleged in these chats, and this never happened. He just makes up horror stories. I'm pretty sure that only some of these screenshots were shared. I am almost positive that I have seen, like, the full screenshots of these. I'm almost positive where, like, it's like, hey, you should do da-da-da with Lily or whatever. So she's just going to pretend that this isn't even supposedly Terra.
To accuse me of pedophilia.
Please, I need no Crimson Ender, please. That'll be my 13th music. My 13th music. I'm literally having a stroke. My 13th reason. Excuse me.
Someone else makes an accusation.
I read them from Patch's Google Drive. Okay.
With no proof, Brittany will go, I can confirm this, here's her sock puppet account. This is my first time seeing her proof, and it's fucking nothing. I don't even know what program this uses. It's literally nothing.
It's Facebook.
And this is what's being used as proof that I'm some super predator? Are you fucking kidding me? This is the most amateur hour shit show of a fucking interview I've ever seen. For 10 fucking years, I've had people accuse me of craven shit, and this is their fucking source? Brittany makes excuses for why she doesn't have chat logs, and then when she shows chat logs, they either show her starting shit or her talking to her fucking self. How did any...
So, are they of Kara, aka you, or not? Because when she is talking like this, she doesn't... So, let me give you an example. And I might be reading way too far into this, but I think that Lily is a little Machiavellian. Okay, just a little bit. So, I might be reading too far into this, but here's my perspective, okay? If somebody presented screenshots and claimed that they were me, like saying crazy shit or whatever. So say that somebody posts screenshots and they're like, you know how Malcolm says that sexting is cringe all the time? Here's screenshots of Malcolm sexting. And I would be like, oh, good heavens. And so I'm like super embarrassed and like super stressed or whatever. And so in looking at them, I see very clearly that they're not from me. Okay? Because I would never do such a thing, you guys. I would never engage in such degenerate behavior. If I'm answering the question of, are these your screenshots? I wouldn't defend what was in the screenshots or use what was in the screenshots to be dismissive. So like what she's saying here is that, oh, these aren't even me. We don't even know whose these are. These are just random fucking screenshots. I have no idea. But what she then says out loud is she says, you can see here that she initiates it. You can see here that she's talking to herself. You can see here that she's like defending the screenshots. I wouldn't defend the screenshots at all. I wouldn't justify like the gooning material in the screenshots, right? I would just say, these are not me. And here is, you know, you can look in the screenshot and you can see that they don't say like from Malcolm or whatever the fuck. You can very clearly see these aren't me. I don't text like this at all. These aren't mine. I didn't send these. I wouldn't say, yeah, but if you zoom in really close and you look at the screenshot, you can see that person A initiated it. So even though this isn't me, if it was me, I definitely didn't do anything. Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, does that make sense? What I am saying to everybody, because it's making sense in my head. I don't know if I'm communicating it effectively, but if I was like defending myself and I said that these screenshots are not me, that is where the conversation would end. I would not go into greater detail to defend the actions of the person in the screenshots who was doing something wrong if it wasn't me.
Anyone ever take this bitch seriously? I'm not even doing the rest of the interview. She goes on to make claims about me that rely on this, and it's nothing. It's fucking nothing. It's not just that Brittany is lying, it's that she's so obviously lying that you have to have an axe to grind against me in order to not recognize her as a liar. Brittany likes to claim I run an echo chamber where I tell my audience to not listen to anything anyone has to say against me, and that's why it's been this difficult to deplatform me. But no, making this video, my entire Discord went through her garbage, and she doesn't have anything. Here's the truth of my friendship with Brittany. We had a quasi-sexual relationship, but a poor friendship because she was just a fair-weather friend. She was present when she wanted to vent, and
this isn't what you would want to say in this situation, though. And again, you know, hindsight is 20/20, and sitting on the outside listening in, you have more perspective, right? This wouldn't be what you would want to say. If you're truly denying these accusations, you wouldn't say a quasi-sexual relationship. Like, you would just say, like, it wasn't sexual at all, or it was one-sidedly sexual, and I misread. She, like, isn't willing to take the L on that. Like, she isn't willing to take that, like, the sexual dynamics weren't, like, one-sided. Like, that would be too big of an ego blow. And so we're kind of fucking this up, again, because of... Again, if you wanted to dodge this, the really easy thing to do would just be like, yeah, I mean, it was one-sided, I misread. And maybe I sent a couple of things that were like, maybe over the line, but I just misread. And at the time it wasn't a big deal and our friendship was fine. And you could even ask her, because in the conversation that she just had with Kim Possible that we listened to, she's like, yeah, I mean, it was like kind of weird, but it was whatever. We just like kept on chugging along in our friendship. Like, and that would corroborate exactly what she was saying.
Not present when I wanted to. So I stopped being friends with her, and she has been so angry about it for 10 fucking years that she's decided to present consensual acts between us as coercion and pressure, saying, I know it looks like I consented, but I was walking on eggshells around her. Fuck you, Brittany. This is a common theme in some of the claims made against me. People will consent to things with me while we're friends, and then when the friendship turns sour, turn around and claim I abused them. I'm not even getting into...
Optically, this is a mistake. Because if this is the angle that you're going for, like... You're going about it in the entirely wrong way. Like, you sound indignant as fuck. And if she actually, like, would show receipts and stuff, she could very easily show, like, the conversation with Brittany and be like, you can see here that Brittany says that I was, like, making advances and I just totally misread. But it wasn't, like, a big deal at the time because we were still friends. And she just kind of let it slide because she said in that conversation that she let it slide. Like, she's not even doing a good job right here, guys. She's not even doing a good job.
Patch because it's the same thing. I commissioned art of my puppet from them, and
please put this away! Ah! If I was ever going to do hard drugs, I would do them right now. Right now, you guys. Right now.
And then after the friendship ended, they decided they felt shortchanged and spun that into a story about me supposedly exploiting their financial situation.
Please
and
take it
that's
away.
literally
Please take it away.
That's their whole
Why is it on
story.
the screen
You
still?
can't fucking do that. Especially if you're not going to communicate that with me beforehand. The thing is, these two, as well as my ex being allergic to communicating anything, messed me up. I practically demand
Wait, is she calling Brittany her ex now too?
upfront communication from people now. And I will cut friendships with people who won't do it. I will not be friends with anyone who can't communicate clearly and frankly. I can't do anything if you don't tell me. And if you aren't comfortable with something, don't.
Guys, I simply like this is her argument. Ready? We're gonna do a little role play, guys. I'm Lily Orchard, okay? Are you ready? How was I supposed to know not to molest if you didn't tell me not to molest? You have to make your boundaries clear. That's why I fucked the dog. The dog didn't say no. That's my Lily Orchard impression. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. Thank you. I'm here all week.
Tell me that you are. And that's KP's video and all of Brittany's complaints. Sans her section on Courtney.
Oh, she's talking about Lizzie. Okay, my bad.
KP didn't do anything wrong and citing Courtney's video itself, which we'll get into later. But first, we have to get into...
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Ethel.
Oh my god. Content warning for defamation, far-right rhetoric, and trans groomer panic. Did you guys like my did you guys like my my Lily Orchard impression? Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you guys liked it.
Fuck me, here we go. So Ethel Thurston goes by the name of Essence of Thought, and further cements my belief that the closer your username gets to true smarty rational brain mind, the farther you are from it in real life. Ethel tried to make a career off of being an LGBT advocate, but then decided to pivot to making drama videos because, well, you take a fucking guess. Ethel's videos are pretty nakedly obvious clout chasing, and I'm only...
Okay, this is gonna be hard, you guys. This is gonna be hard to watch because, like, we don't like Essence of Thought either, you guys. This is, we are in a predicament, are we not? Next to Hamlet. I can't, I'm sorry.
Only including her because she's one of the few channels that tries to break a story rather than react to it. But Ethel spams these videos out faster than you can blink, and going through these things has been the most mind-numbing
I mean, to be fair, she's been on a long hiatus
on the planet because she is a fucking moron. And also, very angry. Ethel's always on the attack with someone. She's always beefing with someone. And it's just exhausting listening to her try and claim she knows how someone thinks and being obviously wrong. I'm not even covering all of them, like the one where she argues with her own imagination, just the ones that are important to this video.
How many content creators feed have you seen? None.
Well, let's fucking go. So Ethel's first video that isn't a waste of time is accusing me of running some kind of secret child predator ring. All this is based off the claims of someone named Goddamnit, who claimed that one day I posted an 18+ stream, and they asked, why is this 18+? To which I apparently said, watch it and find out, where they went in and saw my boobs at one point. Now, Ethel never showed a screenshot of this, and I couldn't find it for the life.
Okay, let's... How the fuck is Ethel gonna show a picture of your tits in a YouTube video? What a dumb statement to say. She didn't even put the picture of my tits in her YouTube video. Duh. Of course not.
Of me. I even searched back through Glade's messages and the deleted message log.
So Lily, she did admit. Let's go back. Let's listen to that one more time.
That one day I posted an 18+ stream, and they asked, why is this 18+? To which I apparently said, watch it and find out, where they went in and saw my boobs at one point. Now, Ethel never showed a screenshot of this, and I couldn't find it for the life of me. I even searched back through Glade's messages and the deleted message log. I could not find it.
Oh,
However,
okay, so yeah, she's like, yeah, but there wasn't a screenshot.
I have, and still do, have a habit of showing open contempt for people who ask me questions for which I believe the answer is obvious. However, if this incident did happen, I didn't learn about it until years after.
I don't know if this incident happened, but if I did, it wasn't my fault. And if it was my fault, it wasn't that bad. Chad, move.
The fact when Glade showed up on Essence of Thought's video, upon which I immediately banned all minors from the server. The server had a rule that you had to be 16 or over to be here, because that's the age at which I, as a server admin, am no longer legally responsible for anything you do. But as a rule, it kept me to my own private...
Is this Canadian law? If you have a Discord server and there's somebody who's like 15 in the Discord server, you're not legally responsible for them. What? Or did we just totally make that shit up? Well, yes. She's saying that she was legally responsible for anyone under the age of 16, I think she said. Is that true? In Canada, if I am Canadian and I have a Discord server and there's someone in the Discord server who's 15, am I legally responsible for them? Is that true? Okay, here.
The channel's searched after the fact when Glade showed up on Essence of Thought's video, upon which I immediately banned all minors from the server. The server had a rule that you had to be 16 or over to be here, because that's the age at which I, as a server admin, am no longer legally responsible for anything you do. But as a rule—
yeah, like, what the fuck does that mean? That can't be right. That can't be an actual fucking thing. Oh, in Canada, every citizen is... oh, so everybody's a mandatory reporter. I wouldn't consider that, like, being legally responsible for them, no? I think that's a leap in logic. She makes it sound like she has to be, like, a babysitter. She doesn't make it sound like it's, like, mandated reporting. Like, mandated reporting is one thing, sure, but, like, she's making it sound like she's, like, their legal fucking guardian from the time they log on to Discord to the time they log off.
Well, it kept me to my own private channels because I don't like interacting with teenagers because...
well,
there's no nice way to say it, they're dumb as fuck, but after this incident I changed it
I
to
know,
19, the Canadian age of majority. Here's the thing, this is the only one I myself believe, even though I can't find any record of it anywhere, because it's my own reflexive rudeness getting me into...
so, she did show Boba on stream. She is confirming that she did show Boba on stream. Or on YouTube or on live or whatever the fuck it was. She is now confirming that she showed Boba on stream. So why did we spend all this time saying we didn't show Boba on stream? Why did we not start with we showed Boba on stream?
The trouble, which is a common thing with me, unfortunately. So Glade, if you're watching this, I have no idea why you would be. I should have just straight up told you why it was 18 plus and saved us all the trouble, and I'm sorry. So all this incident is a...
hey guys, if this did happen, if I did flash a minor, you guys, I'm really sorry. But anyway, moving on. It's like, what did you just say? It's like, pause, rewind, play that track back. You're like, if you're in here, sorry that I, like, fucking flashbanged you with my tits when you were underage. I was just in a silly goofy mood. Anyway, moving on. Hello? 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 Is anybody there? Hello? 911? Please, please, put me down.
A pretty cut and dry instance of me dropping the ball as a server admin. Ethel decided to run with it.
I was just dropping the ball, you guys. I just flashbanged. You guys, you guys are so upset for no reason. All she did was flash a literal fucking child. Oh my god, trans panic. Like, is she for fucking real right now? You guys, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just, like, totally fucking illegal. Like, not only illegal, but wrong. Illegal and wrong. Double homicide. Name a better duo. And then she's just like, oh, teehee. And then, like, moves right on. You know what the worst part is, you guys? I gotta tell you guys the worst thing in the entire world. I read through some of the comments the other day on this. People are, like, lapping this up. People are like, oh my god, Lily Orchard, like, they love it. They're like, oh my god, she's so victimized. Like, she's so stunning and brave for being trans in this current political climate. Oh my god, what a martyr. People are, like, unironically, like, people are, like, riding her into the sunset over this. This is... I mean, it's not even the fact that she deletes the negative comments. There's, like, 500 fucking comments on the video of people being like, oh, you're so brave. And even if she has deleted every single negative comment, that is a lot of positive comments. I mean, I don't think that I'm exceptionally intelligent, you guys, but I can see this. I don't think that I have, like a special filter that lets me speak degenerate goon. I don't think that I have that talent, but, like, I can see it.
And claim that because this single person had a complaint about my conduct, a rather plausible complaint at that, this means I am secretly grooming thousands of minors at once. See, this is Ethel's train of logic. Because I cover...
wait, hang on.
Plus, and saved us all the trouble, and I'm sorry. So while this incident is a pretty cut and dry instance of me dropping the ball as a server admin, Ethel decided to run with it and claim that because this single person had a complaint about my conduct, a rather plausible complaint at that, This means I am secretly grooming thousands of minors at once. See, this is
8:49.
Pokemon.
Let's just listen to that one more time. Did you guys hear that? Hang on, let me pause my music. This is really important. Listen.
My Little Pony.
Good. One more time. Ready?
My Little Pony. Pokemon. The Owl House. Kingdom of Hearts.
I clicked on this video and I heard Pokemon. Delightful ASMR, guys. Okay, what is this timestamp? It is 8:49. And the claim is that Essence of Thought is making the argument that Lily Orchard is grooming thousands of children. Okay, let's remember. The claim is that Essence of Thought is saying that Lily Orchard, because of the flashbang, is grooming thousands of children. That is the claim. Let's see what Essence of Thought has to say. 8:49. Okay.
Audience's trust. Because Lily Orchard is deliberately trying to funnel minors into her sex games whilst retaining plausible deniability. That's all these channels exist for. To act as a soft excuse, something for her to roll out and pretend like she's taking steps to prevent minors from engaging with her sexually, allowing her to breach the trust said system is reliant upon whenever she feels like it, deleting the evidence to make sure it's difficult for her to be called out. What's worse, however, is the way in which she personally coerced Glade, a known minor who looked up to Lily as an authority on grooming and abuse, to partake in her and her girlfriend's sexual games. Because yes, they are complicit. This was a one-on-one interaction.
Okay, so where is the claim that Ethel made where she said that Lily Orchard has groomed thousands of children? The claim that Ethel is making is very specific and it is very pointed. It is that Lily Orchard, 1, cultivates a community of young people. 2, normalizes sexual encounters with adults through, basically jokes, which the joke is, oh, why is the stream 18+? Stick around and hang out. 3, she deletes the evidence, which she did, to deny accountability. And 4, that this creates a hotbed environment for grooming. Every single one of those points is correct. Not a single one of those points has been refuted. And not only that, there was no claim that Lily Orchard has groomed thousands of minors. She made the claim in both first and second victim testimony videos. I don't have the timestamps right now. That's not on you. That is on Lily Orchard. That is not on you. If, again, I will reiterate this. This is an example of poor sourcing. When people are not willing to put the video on stream or play it for you or play the audio or show you receipts, it's usually because they're not being fully transparent with their recollection of events or their summaries. So don't worry about it, Tempo. This is Lily Orchard's fault. If Lily Orchard wanted to show me that Essence of Thought is claiming that, there are thousands of groomed minors at the feet of Lily Orchard's coom throne, she should have sourced it correctly. That's Lily Orchard's fault, not yours.
Ethel's train of logic. Because I cover all ages media like Pokemon and the Owl House and Happy Tree Friends, to Ethel that means my audience is automatically minors, and the entire purpose of covering these things at all is to bring in minors. This ignores the reality that there is a sizable audience of adult for these things, and those are the people who mostly watch these videos. But when Ethel wants to push a narrative, she ignores everything around her. You have to be pretty dumb to not know at this point that adult cartoon fandom is obviously a thing.
The adult cartoon fandom is a fraction of the fan base, though. Are there, adults that watch Dora the Explorer? Undoubtedly. Are there, a ton of these people? Absolutely not. Is a majority of them, a super majority of people who consume Dora the Explorer going to be children? Yes. Yes, there are adult fans of a lot of, cartoons and shit. Pokemon is a good example because, fucking millennials love Pokemon. I don't know what to say. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't get the hype, okay? Hate me or love me, but I don't get the hype, okay? There are adult fans of those things, but, the things that we're talking about here, Kingdom Hearts or, Steven Universe, this kind of shit, these are the overwhelming majority of these audiences are going to be children. Oh my god, owned by Lily Orchard in the marketplace of ideas. Fuck. Okay, if I go to my analytics and I go down, the one that I literally just showed you guys, there's an age bracket for 13 to 17. And then if I do see more, there is also an age bracket for 13 to 17. It looks just like this, where I have this age bracket. I have all these age brackets on mine. And then even if I get out of this and it has the horizontal lines, I still have every single one of these age brackets. Okay. Okay, guys, we're just dumb. Damn. I see the confusion now. It's because I was in the way. It's right here. And right here. That was just me, guys. There's 2 L's in Malcolm for a reason. Alright, guys, let's power through this. Let's power through. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, we've established that Malcolm is dumb, and this is YouTube analytics. Malcolm is dumb. We have established.
Always been the exception in my audience. This isn't the first time I've sourced my own audience metrics like this, and the response I get from Ethel and people like Ethel is, "That's not reliable." Now, while it is true that minors tend to lie about their age online to access content otherwise locked off, it's an anecdote that has no real numbers attached to it. It's basically, well, I remember doing it, therefore, and they don't provide numbers for it at all. And it's really sketchy to go from minors lie about their age to the majority of your audience are minors, even though you are showing data that says opposite because I said so. The vast majority of the I remember doing it, therefore, and they don't provide numbers for it at all. And it's really sketchy to go from minors lie about their age to the majority of your audience are minors, even though you are showing data that says opposite because I said so. The vast majority of this video is just arguments like this to argue against the simple reality that the stream was age-gated. You can argue it's against YouTube's TOS, but I mean, that's a minor complaint and certainly not the smoking gun you think it is.
No, that the smoking gun is knowing, 1, that it's a violation of TOS. 2, somebody asking you. 3, doing it anyway. And then 4, when you discovered that what you did was inappropriate, you hand wave it. Right? Like, I feel like any person that was not, like, sick in the head, if it was revealed to them that they were, you know, doing an 18+ stream, let's just say in a world where it was well within TOS for you to flashbang people on your stream. If it was revealed to you that somebody that you flashbanged on your stream was not of age, would you double down on that? No, you would be like, oh, that's actually really fucked up. Wow, that's crazy. I should probably be more careful in the future to not do that. That's like what a normal person would do. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, and also don't show your boba. Boba does not belong on YouTube stream. That is a violation of TOS. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you're a normal person. A normal person would be like, oh shit, that's actually hella fucked up. Like, my bad. You wouldn't like make excuses for it? I don't know, dude.
The only consequence there is a community guideline strike, and that's a risk I chose to take. You want to argue terms of service? I'm pretty sure this kind of sustained targeted harassment is against YouTube's terms of service, but that's not enough for Ethel. In her eyes, if I'm covering media aimed at children, I can't do anything not safe for work anywhere else in my own spaces.
You probably should not. I would call into serious question your judgment if the content that you're making is like, you don't even have to say that a majority of the audience is like children, but you could say like child-friendly content. If that's the kind of content you're making, yeah, you probably shouldn't mix not safe for work shit with that. Like, yes, like if you're doing like toy unboxing videos, like sure, your audience might be adults that are like toy collectors or whatever, but that's like what would be considered like a juvenile hobby. Not in like a derogatory way, but like, you know, I don't think I would mix like a juvenile hobby with that. Maybe I'm moral frogging over this really hard, but like that just seems like an error in judgment. Does it not? Like, why would you like cross those wires? That just seems like not a smart idea. I just don't know why you would risk that. Especially up until this point, you allowed minors in your community, right? Like, I think that you could make, I would disagree with this argument, but I think that you could make the argument that if you have always maintained, you know, like an 18+ community, that like, sure, there's probably going to be like not safe for work shit or whatever. But like, this happened when she was allowing minors in her community and was like acutely aware that there were people in her community that that were minors. Like, I just don't know. It just seems like an error in judgment, I guess.
He knows how other people think, and you really can't counter that with anything other than you're fucking crazy. Someone could trip, and Ethel will start aggressively accusing them of deliberately conspiring to assault the ground. And for all these serious accusations, Ethel never really shows any proof.
That is
she
true.
She shows circumstantial proof, and then her own opinions as if it's proof. Lily's playing Pokemon, which is rated E, therefore the stream is explicitly intended for kids, regardless of the rating or the fact that I swear like a trucker, therefore she is a super explicitly intended for kids. Proof, Lily's playing Pokemon, which is rated E, therefore the stream is explicitly intended for kids, regardless of the rating or the fact that I swear like a trucker.
No, but so if you're playing a game like on stream, I don't know, pretend you're playing like fucking Paw Patrol or something on stream, okay? Like, okay, Paw Patrol is kind of a loaded example. Say that you are, we'll just keep it the same. Say you're playing Pokemon on stream. That doesn't necessarily imply that your stream is like kid friendly. I completely agree with that, right? Because it's the game. Like, just because the game is rated E for everybody doesn't mean that, you know, just by virtue of that rating system that it's for children. Like the stream itself, not the game, but the stream itself, right? But like we have to look a little bit deeper into that. There has to be a little bit more context, right? Like, how are you playing the game on stream? Are you making it like very friendly? And she clarifies here, you know, that she swears a lot and that it's supposedly age gated, but I don't know if that's true because at the time she knowingly had minors in her audience, so I don't know why she would age restrict streams if she knows that there are like minors in her Discord and shit like that. Like, not only that, but also like if you're engaging with the content in a very kid-friendly way, right? Like you can do like a Lego unboxing video build where it's like, it can be like an adult themed, like, you know, unboxing Lego video or whatever, but that would be different if you're like, I don't know how to articulate this correctly. I don't think I'm doing a very good job of articulating myself. It's like it's like the style and the way that you present the content, you know what I mean? And that's like the criticism, but she's being like really obtuse when she's engaging with it. I mean, I think that like, again, that's part of the purpose of engaging on platforms that have like restrictions on not safe for work content. Like on YouTube and on like Twitch, you can't show nudity. And that is kept there for a reason, because I think on Twitch you can be like 13, right? I think that's like the sign up for Twitch is 13. You're still going to have people on the site that are underage. And so like if you want to engage on a platform where like that kind of not safe for work like material is permitted, okay, then like live stream on OnlyFans or something. Like the platform itself is gatekept. Like it's built into the design where people aren't going to be exposed to sexually explicit material, because the people who, you know, like manage YouTube, they are acutely aware that like it's an all ages platform. I shouldn't say, well, it is actually all ages because there's like Cocomelon videos and shit on here. Like that safeguard is automatically built into the system. So if you do want to do like these risky, like not safe for work streams or whatever, get like an OnlyFans or like a cam account or something like that. What is that website called? It's like, I want to say it's like Camly. I don't think that's right. Fansly. Is that what I'm thinking of? Does that let you live stream? Like, go on one of those websites because the platform allows for it. Like, it's built into the guidelines that people that access that, like, it needs to be age kept. So, like, realistically, like, if, you know, you're a cam streamer and you're on a cam site and you're doing, like, not safe for work content, which is what the site is designed for, and then somebody is like, oh, like, I'm a minor, like, why are you topless in your, like, fucking OnlyFans video? It's like, well, that's out of your control because that is up to the platform to moderate. That's not up to you as the creator. That's up to the platform to moderate. Like, it's not like, oh God. It's not like Mia Khalifa's job to make sure that everybody who views her content on like Pornhub is of age, right? That is the job of the platform. That's why those safeguards are put there. So you're not like exposing people to content that isn't appropriate for them to view, one, and then two is in with TOS. Like it's automatically built into the system. I don't know why you would try to skirt that. It doesn't make any sense. Especially if you're like, oh my God, everybody's calling me a predator. Everybody's pedo-jacketing me. It's like, okay, then stop doing that thing then. I don't know, bro. Yeah, the risk is, yeah, it is probably somewhat of, I would agree with that assessment, like, without playing, you know, armchair psychology or whatever, but it seems like she's like, this is a risk that I was willing to make. And the risk is, like, a pretty substantial risk. Like, it's not like she has a small YouTube channel. She has a pretty big YouTube channel. I don't think that's worth the risk. I wouldn't think that at all, personally, but I don't know. I guess it's exciting. I don't know. You're done gooning. Thank you.
Therefore, she is a super predator. Reminder, this
I think this is all that same, quote, testing reaction stuff to see what she can get away with. Yeah, I think that... I would agree with that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Does anyone know if, after this, if she ever did it again? Does anybody know if after she was made aware that there was somebody under the age of 18 who was flashbanged and made uncomfortable, does anybody know if she did that again? Yes. Okay. Interesting. Because I'm thinking, like, I guess I'm thinking a little bit too deep about it because, like, I'm thinking in my head she's testing the reactions of people. And if people are, like, calling her out on it, I don't know why she would do it again. But if she's testing if it, like, you know, will entirely fuck everything up, or if it gets her channel clapped, or if she's just trying to figure out a way how to do it without getting her channel taken away. That could be it, I guess. Because I would imagine if she's, like, testing the reactions, I would imagine that people didn't really react to this in good favor. But then again, I could be wrong. I'm not really ever surprised by people's reactions to shit like this anymore, unfortunately. But, I don't know, just a thought.
This all started from an honest mistake, but honest mistakes don't exist in Ethel's mind, especially not when
Well, if it was an honest mistake, why did we do it again?
milking something for content is on the line. Ethel even tries to argue against the idea that a 17-year-old should know 18 plus means not for them on the basis that YouTube's climate age restricts LGBT content at all. So minors won't know
No, dude. Oh, no. This is, we're literally doing the slippery slope fallacy. You can hold both of these positions. You can say it is unfair that YouTube's terms of service unfairly age restricts LGBT related content. That isn't right. That's wrong, right? Because, like, just, like, being gay in and of itself is, like, not sexual, right? Like, just saying, like, hey, I have a husband, instead of saying I have a wife. That doesn't mean that isn't sexual in nature, right? I can criticize that policy on YouTube, but also, like, appreciate and respect the policy that says that, like, not safe for work stuff also includes sexually explicit imagery. And I would consider flashing people on stream to be sexually explicit. Okay.
18 plus for being not safe for work, or because it talks about LGBT issues. Now, this has never been true for my work. I talk about LGBT issues all the time, and I never get age gated. I say the bad words like fuck and kill and suicide.
What'd she just say?
Talks about LGBT issues. Now, this has never been true for my work. I talk about LGBT issues all the time, and I never get age gated. I say the...
Okay, so... What? So she's bitching and moaning that they restrict LGBT-related content, but then says that her content doesn't get restricted, even though she does, like, you know, like, quote-unquote, like, adult things, like swearing, talking about suicide, talking about gay stuff or whatever. Like, this isn't the argument that you think it is.
Bad words like fuck and kill and suicide, and I don't get demonetized for it. Here's a video of me talking about...
Demonetized is not the same thing as age-restricted. There is content that is age-restricted that is not demonetized. It only is representative of ad suitability. That's the only thing that's representative of. You can have something that is 18 plus or, like, mature content that is not demonetized. Like, you can still make money off of it. Oh my god.
Slurs. And it's not age-gated. But this is especially not true for streams. Stream VODs might get age-gated, but the actual live event, you have to age-gate that yourself. Furthermore, we have no real source that YouTube's LGBT filtering is that all-encompassing. I know teenagers tend to believe you'll get shadow banned if you say gun, but you don't. You could argue doing this at all is tacky and inappropriate in general. I would not disagree with you. I haven't been on camera in years, but it's a far stretch from Lily is acting unprofessionally to this weird fucking Pizzagate conspiracy that Ethel has cooked up. Her next video is even worse. Whereas the first one could confirm the event they were talking about happened and just got really inflammatory about how and why, this one doesn't even have that. So like a lot of people on Tumblr, seriously, you can find an entire ecosystem of this shit. For a while, I was indulging the fact that Tumblr allowed NSFW content by answering NSFW anon messages. So Ethel had the brilliant idea to bring someone on to go, oh yeah, I sent some of those. Which ones? Don't know. They couldn't find them. According to them,
a lot of the statements or streams Lily Orchard does nowadays have her showing herself nude as well as her girlfriend Michaela. First of all, that breaks TOS, but she gets away with it because she deletes the streams right after hiding the evidence. Of course, she also posted unfiltered nudes on her Tumblr and easily accessible link to her fan art, much of which is not safe for work, on a Google Sheet. Lily has also posted porn on Maine a lot, like holy fuck, not of her, but I found porn of her being No! Lily has also posted porn on Maine a lot, like holy fuck, not only of her, but I found porn of her being fucked by dogs. Do we think... What? How do we move on? Do you think that she's going to address this? Do you think that we're going to say, no, there are no images of me being fucked by dogs? Or do you think that we're just not going to... One crack, please? May I have one crack? Somebody sedate me! Oh my god! Okay, we're fine. I'm fine. Is everybody else fine? We're good, guys. We're good. We're cash money. We're swag. We're fine. Everybody's fine. Through a Tumblr blog archiving her wrongdoings, which got nuked years ago. It wasn't the anthro-furry kind either. I would have been 17 seeing that, but many of her fans are younger. You remember back in the day when you just, like, the word, like, I'm dating myself here. Like, when the worst thing that you saw was, like, an ISIS beheading video. I would rather watch 1,000 ISIS beheading videos than see one still image of a human being being fucked by a dog. I would rather see infinite amounts of the compilations of, you know, with the fun transitions and the high production value. I would rather watch that. I saw a video the other day on Twitter of a guy getting blown up by an RPG. I don't know why they did that. I don't know what the guy did. All I saw was that he just got completely eviscerated. I would rather see that than an image of Lily Orchard getting fucked by a dog. We used to be a proper country. Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god, please, guys. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Okay, everything I mentioned, bar the streams, I saw as a minor. I'm 21 now, and stopped watching her a few years ago, but I check up on her occasionally. She's not accepted that she's the bad guy, instead holding out that everyone else is. It's hilariously sad. But I fear for the minors in her audience because she's still gross. True. Oh, and lest we not forget about the fanfics she wrote. I read them when I would have been a younger teen, and they were gross. Just Google Lily Orchard Stockholm, and you'll find info about Rainbow Dash adopting a child, Scootaloo, only to, well, yeah, her. And no, that yeah isn't murder either. Oh, and because I thought it was a normal thing to do, because it was a normal thing on her blog, I sent some anon-sexting sort of messages to her on Tumblr. She responded to them, but I can't find them anymore, as I think she reset Tumblr a few years ago. I would have been no younger than 14, no older than 16, so yeah. Fuck Lily Orchard. Wouldn't care if she rots. She's disgusting, not just because of what happened to me, but I don't care to talk about all the drama. And then we have this kind of in the bottom. So in short, I sent sex to her when I was no older than 16. They were in public. I saw porn of her as a minor and some fucked up fanfics, okay? So this is one of the core criticisms that I have for Gooners, okay? This is my number one criticism that I have for Gooners, okay? And I know that you guys think that I'm just a hater. And that is true. I am a hater. That is correct. However, my hating nature usually has good reason, okay? One of the issues when you create a highly sexualized environment is that you normalize that behavior to people in your immediate proximity or in your orbit. So, if you are someone who allows people in your space that is highly sexualized, and you allow people in there that are like minors, essentially, they think that behavior is normal and they will emulate it. And that is a big problem. Not only for what happens on your watch, in your, private environments like your Discord server or your stream or your chats or whatever the fuck. Not only is that a problem there, it is a problem in real life as well. Because we know that online behavior doesn't always just stay online. So for, say, someone who is like, we'll say this person who is 16 years old, who thinks that it is normal to see fully nude images of adults, to engage sexually with adults, and to see like graphic images of adults engaged in sex acts, not just sex acts with animals. That one doesn't just stay online. Two, it normalizes that within the community where it isn't seen as a taboo or a faux pas. People aren't keen to notice it and see that it's wrong and then do something about it. It creates this fucking disgusting, horrible echo chamber where everybody thinks that this is normal and fine. And that is a problem. But yes, so while I do agree that sometimes I just hate on gooners to hate, because I do. That would be untrue of me to say. Sometimes I just do because it's fun. And I'm a silly, goofy girl, okay? I'm just a girl. But when you normalize this behavior in communities where minors are present, that behavior is emulated, that behavior is rewarded, and that carries out into the real world. Not only is it dangerous to happen online, and I'm not understating that this is dangerous as well, but it is an amplifying force that if you have someone who thinks that it's normal to engage in sexual conversations with adults as a minor, and they go out into the world and they emulate that behavior, that is very dangerous. Because it is dangerous for kids to be exposed to like sexual imagery and shit like that on the internet, to be groomed over the internet. We know that this is dangerous and this is harmful. It is exceptionally dangerous for a kid to think it's normal for adults and, children to have like sexual dynamics and then to emulate that in real life because they're in tangible harm, right? Like they can actually be raped. They can actually be assaulted. And I'm not trying to downplay by any means, like the grooming or any of that goes on online, but there is a real risk of tangible harm when that behavior is emulated in real life. That is very dangerous. And that's why I don't support gooning in public. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, guys. Fuck. Okay, sorry.
Look, they don't show it because nothing's stopping multiple people from claiming that Anna is theirs. It's a perfect crime, really.
She plays that sound every time she puts up a screenshot. It's not me. That's her. Every time that she shows an image on screen, it makes that noise. I don't have my sound on for my Discord.
Trust me, bro, with the most plausible deniability. Then Ethel goes on to make the same claims as the previous video, that because my YouTube channel covers cartoons, I'm not allowed to host adult content anywhere else, and doing so is passively grooming children who are definitely in the room with us right now. And she proceeds to take every instance of me arming people with knowledge against grooming as a secret grooming tactic.
Can I have examples of that? Can I please have examples of arming people against grooming? Like, this would be a really, really, really good place for examples of that. If you're like, yeah, dude, this is all bullshit. Everybody's making this up. This is a witch hunt. It's total ass. Never did any of this stuff. Okay, show me. If you want me to believe you, show me. Show me all of these examples of, like, tactful advice that you give. And, maybe if I, like, do the Men in Black, like, flashlight thing, and I forget the rest of this video where you literally said that you flashbang minors, and it was like, well, it's their fault. Like, if I casually forget that, if I just kind of, just, like, throw that out the window, okay, I might be receptive to hearing some, like, let me see. Don't be shy. Show the receipts. Please, let me see. Like, let me see you doing all this proactive fucking, like, groomer prevention act shit. Let's see it. Let's see it, Batman.
From the idea Lily is a groomer, and so everything that counters that has to be some Manchurian shit. To quote one of my patrons, you may not like it, but your tone, your reactions, your attitudes, and boundaries all scream abuse survivor, and everyone who has seen or lived through some shit can tell and relate to that. Abusers don't...
Jesus fucking Christ, that was hard to read. I'm so fucking sorry. So this is somebody just saying this. Abusers don't set boundaries like you do. They constantly tear down a bargain. Restricting them and lowering their guards. Okay.
Set boundaries like you do. They constantly try to tear them down or bargain with people to trick them into lowering their guards. Abusers don't avoid being alone in scenarios with minors or vulnerable people like you do. They actively work to create those situations. Abusers don't spend their lives educating others or calling out red flags and problematic behavior like you have done for so many years. They trivialize serious matters or holler like hit dogs the minute their moral integrity is called into question. Abusers don't casually talk about their abuse, trying to move past it like you've done in this very...
This is unfortunately not true. People will often use personal experience and anecdote in order to build rapport with victims. That is undeniably true. That is undeniably true. What?
Post. They trauma dump and try to portray themselves as the eternal victim, followed by immediate demands of and exploitation of all
Bro, my source is my friend thinks I'm cool.
Emotional, economic, sexual, etc. In Ethel's deranged mind prison, all of these things, so clearly visible to my audience, are actually secret, new, unheard of grooming tactics.
Well, the reality is, and let's be totally candid, if you are bold enough to do it in public, that makes people really afraid of what you're doing in private. And that is another thing. This is something that I actually kind of first became conscious about when we were doing some of the poppy shit, where it's like some of this stuff is so tacitly unbelievable that people just hearing it are like, what? No way, dude. You're kidding. No shot. It is so tacitly unbelievable that you would one, violate TOS as a silly, goofy game, and then two, when somebody expresses discomfort around it, being a minor, you're like, LOL, sounds like a personal problem. That is fantastical. That is absolutely fantastical. And that's part of the reason that she's finding cover for this so well, is because it's so fucking unbelievable. It is unbelievable to think that there is somebody took a video of themselves or a picture of themselves getting fucked by a dog. That's insane. That shit that you see on fucking 2020 and Dateline. That shit's fucking whack, dude. That's crazy. The fantastical, unbelievable nature of it, and that you do it so openly and so proudly, is part of the reason that you're able to garner so much cover for it. Because it's unbelievable. If you walked up to me and you said, hey, that girl over there, she posted a picture on Tumblr of her getting fucked by a dog, I'd be like, you're smoking crack. You're fucking lying to me. No, she didn't. You're crazy. No, that's insane. Nobody would do that. That's part of the tactic. Yes. What? Oh my god, bro.
Especially the part where all of this happens in public, in front of other people. She goes as far as to claim that my outrage over actual instances of grooming are just performances, because the way in which I have in the past deconstructed the red flags of groomers and sexual abusers is something an abuse survivor does. We all gain insight and wisdom from our abuse to an extent, and the first thing any of us wants to do with it is arm other people so they don't have to go through the same horrors we did. I'll cop to the fact I fell into the same fallacy of trying to reclaim my trauma through hypersexuality. I certainly don't do it anymore, and I've made the point to say to others, no, it doesn't actually help. But all of that is just some secret conspiracy in Ethel's eyes. My strict response to people acting up and violating my boundaries in my spaces, in clear disregard of my rules, just more control in Ethel's eyes. The proof I'm a groomer is that I won't let people flagrantly ignore my boundaries. That is what a fucking groomer would say.
Your boundaries are like, no guys, I will show Boba on stream, and if you don't respect that, fuck off. Damn, that is a Jonah Hill boundary if I've ever heard one. God damn.
Say Ethel. But the worst part is when Ethel tries to wallpaper over all of this by inventing a new kind of grooming. Parasocial grooming. Heads up, if you're a sexual abuse...
That's not a new kind of grooming. What are you talking about, bro?
...or grooming survivor, this is going to make you angry. Ethel makes the claim that by being sexual in a space that minors could hypothetically access, either through ignoring the rules or just by happenstance, that itself is a form.
It's not ignoring the rules. You were acutely aware that there were minors in your Discord server. After you got called out for gooning, you changed your Discord server. You knew they were there.
Form of grooming. To use Glade as an example, because Glade walked into a room labeled adults only and saw my tits, that is grooming by default. So many of
the problem is, one, that is already gatekept by the fucking platform. There is at no point where I'm expecting to see full titties on YouTube. I'm not scared to open YouTube out in public or at a job because I can reasonably expect that there are not going to be bazongas on my screen. That is built into the platform for the safety of people using the platform and for you, the creator. You chose to ignore that. It's not like this is a better analogy, actually, Lily. This is way closer to what you did. It's like you went to Chuck E. Cheese and you rented out the party room at Chuck E. Cheese and you decided to do an OnlyFans shoot in the party room at Chuck E. Cheese, and a kid accidentally walked into the reserved party room and saw your bazongas, and you were like, damn, that sounds like a you problem, kid. I don't know what to tell you. I had this room reserved. It's my room. I can do what I want in the room. That is a way better fucking comparison, because that's basically what you did. You're posting bazongas somewhere that everybody on planet Earth reasonably assumes that they are not going to see gazongas. And then you're going to act indignant when they're upset that they saw gazongas in the gazonga-free place of content. It's like going to fucking clubpenguin.com and you get an ad for Pornhub. That is the equivalence here. That is the equivalence here. It's not like you're at like a swingers club and some fucking homeless kid off of the street wanders in. That's not the comparison here. The comparison is you are in a place where one, including children, can reasonably expect to not be assaulted by an adult's tits. I am in pain. I am in pain. I am in pain. How expensive do you think it is to be in a medically induced coma for a few days? Do you think that costs a lot? And do you think they'll do it just because I ask? Like, do you think, like, how much do you think, like, a day of being in a medically induced coma is? Please respond quickly.
The other person's accusations rely on things being easily accessible, i.e., I didn't ask for your ID or give you a skill testing question. I said explicitly, this is 18 plus, or don't do this if you're under 18.
When you go on youtube.com and you see a stream that means 18 plus, you're usually assuming that they're like swearing or like playing a violent game. You are not assuming that they're naked, because that is against TOS.
And you ignored that. Basically, you didn't try to keep me out hard enough for my liking. You could argue how much responsibility creators have to ensure minors don't find their After Dark blog. I would argue if 18 plus only is good enough for the platform, it's good enough for everyone. But to jump from that discussion to inventing a new kind of grooming you can do passively just by existing, this is what Republicans use to justify drag bans,
my God.
which inherently target trans women. That us being sexual in adult spaces is inherently harmful to children.
YouTube is not an adult space. There is, quote unquote, like, mature content on YouTube, but it's not sexual in nature. Sexually explicit material is against terms of service. If I click on a stream that's 18 plus, I do not expect to be flashbanged with bazongas. At most, I expect to see like a violent video game or like hot commentary gossip.
Is a trans woman diving into literal anti-trans rhetoric. She is using the Florida State playbook. Grooming has to be targeted. Grooming involves breaking down someone's idea of right and wrong. Grooming involves conditioning someone to believe that what you're doing to them is okay. You can't
Oh, you mean like fucking horny posting everywhere at every fucking possible opportunity in order to normalize that, you know, sexual relationships are like totally cash money and swag, even if, you know, it might be with somebody who's under it. Like, please.
Groom someone just by existing in their fucking postcode. Words mean things, Ethel, and you can't make up your own new definition when you don't have anything, because that's why she does it. To accuse me of grooming minors, you would have to have DMs of me and a minor, and you don't have them.
Does she genuinely think that this only counts in the context of directly talking to them? Really? You don't think that like publicly showing all of this stuff regularly in like an easily accessible way, like that doesn't count? Are you dead fucking serious right now? You have to be kidding.
Because they don't exist. Ethel's harassment.
And that is true. She has also directly spoken to minors, but because Ethel didn't put the screenshots in her video, it never happened, you guys.
Makes me angry just because a moron being allowed to speak makes me angry by default. But this right here, inventing a new kind of passive grooming, completely ignoring what grooming even means, all to go after bad trans woman Mino-like? That's not even irresponsible or problematic. That is straight up fucking evil. All of her claims against me
No comment.
rely on trust me, bro. And she knows this, which is why she invented a new kind of grooming that's just a teenager got into the adult part of a website and therefore it's your fault. No.
It's not an adult part of the website. 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 It is a platform where you're not supposed to show boobs. And you showed boobs. It's not the minor's fault that you showed boobs on a platform that you're not supposed to show boobs on.
Watch your fucking kids, asshole. It's
What?
not my fucking problem that you're asleep at the wheel. If I was directly targeting these kids...
Dude, you should preemptively be able to tell... Like... I'm just repeating myself, like... There's a reasonable expectation to not see titties on YouTube. That isn't like a watch your kids thing. That's like a don't put your tits on YouTube thing.
That'd be one thing, but they happened to be in the vicinity when I was doing something in an adult space. This is not the fucking crime you think it is. Ethel is completely
You're right, it's
detached
worse.
from reality. At the end of the video, she tries to make arguments that
Ironic.
because Glade and the other person felt like it was grooming, that makes it grooming. That's not how this works. I feel this way, and therefore you are this way, is where you go when you're caught lying. She then claims there is no harm caused by referring to this as grooming, except for the harassment and sustained abuse of a trans woman you know is not guilty of the crime you're accusing of. Lying
Accountability? Abuse!
about me carries no harm, I guess. Like, if nothing else convinced you, the fact that she just says,
You know when Poppy isn't impressed with your boobs, the bar is low as fuck, dude. The bar has to be so low for Poppy to not be impressed with your boobs. Like, oh my god, wow.
well, maybe it's not grooming, but we can just call it that anyway. Good fucking god. What's even
Bro,
better
you
is
don't get to
Courtney tried to get in
act
contact with
exasperated.
Ethel to get screenshots of these incidents to
Oh,
put
Courtney,
me in
here we
prison.
go.
For
You're
all
in
of her
trouble.
projection, Courtney is at least trying to look like she's taking action. But because Ethel has no proof, she couldn't give it to her, and she refused to get Courtney in contact with either of them. Now, this is all a lot of
No, you silly goose. The reason that Ethel would not get Courtney in contact with the minor is because ACAB. Did you even watch the video? Hello? Ethel was like, the cops hate trans people. Why would I ever call the cops? Come on, you gotta keep up.
stupid back and forth where two perpetual drama queens trade snide remarks like 12-year-old girls fighting over the same guy, which they are. But the main argument for why
Did you just misgender yourself? That's fucking transphobic. Hello?
Ethel won't hand over the screenshots is because she doesn't have them. They don't exist. We've been through this already. But at one point, Courtney says, I don't watch her content. It's boring and its dictation could rival the most ancient of Harvard professors. These are people who are supposed to be taking...
I like how it said Courtney, who hasn't been to college. Wasn't she just complaining about how this was like a petty bitch fest and now we're doing petty bitch fest shit? Oh,
seriously,
God.
you know? I mean, she's not wrong. Ethel's content is mind-numbing, but I'm fully aware that she's a lying piece of shit. But, like, you're supposed to be taking this shit seriously, and it's not personally entertaining enough for you? And while Ethel talks like a college professor whose head struck the headboard too many times the night before, Courtney talks like the antagonist on a Disney Channel original sitcom. Even Courtney herself goes back and forth between citing examples of me supposedly breaking the law, but then turning around and making excuses not to have me charged. And while cops can be negligent in their duties, that's not where trans women are concerned. The argument has always been, the cops don't take sex abuse seriously. Bro, I am an indigenous trans woman. Of course they're gonna take it seriously. This is...
Okay, I did make this argument in reference to Ethel saying, like, when we watch Essence of Thoughts video, it was like, well, we know that the cops, like, actually don't give a flying fuck about, like, sex crimes and what have you. And then she was like, but we're also in the height of the trans genocide, so it's not appropriate for me to call the cops on a trans woman. And it's like, both of these things can't be true at the same time. If we're in the apex of the trans genocide and we're literally on our way to the camps right now, you guys, sayonara, okay? Do you not think that the cops would be like mega fucking stoked to find screenshots of a trans person like being a fucking pedophile? I think that they'd be pretty fucking jazzed about that, dude. Because if they're looking for an excuse, you know, to exterminate us all, I think that would be it. I did say that I will be consistent in that because I think that that is true. That if, you know, we are here, you guys, it's time for us to all go to summer camp. Then yes, I would imagine that the cops would take that very seriously, especially if there's screenshots. Like, it's one thing to like go to the cops and be like, hey, I was assaulted like 10 years ago. They can't really do a whole lot about that. But like, if you have like literal text messages, like of somebody who is an adult who is interacting inappropriately with a minor over text messages, you'd be hard pressed to find me a cop that's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Is that, you know, these people are just drama ghouls. That's the important thing to remember. This is their entertainment. This is their soap opera. YouTube drama, even with extremely serious accusations, is a soap opera. They don't
a woman of color is speaking.
It means the end of their entertainment. Some of these people have oriented their entire identities around me. At one point, Ethel calls this group of morons the Lily Orchard critical community. And they all just keep arguing back and forth about why police haven't done anything about this imaginary predator. This is such a twisting of what ACAB is even about in the first place. It won't be the cops to prosecute me. It'll be the Crown's lawyers. And they're only doing this because they can't provide evidence, because they don't have it, because it doesn't exist. At all avenues, Ethel is the scummiest clout whore on the fucking planet. She had the gall to accuse another drama whore of plagiarizing her. Imagine
we're getting
me in
hot.
that
What the
situation,
fuck?
watching two parasites
Holy
argue
shit.
over who has the right to this open wound.
Of course they're unheated. How am I supposed to hear prayers coming out of my ass?
This is the Drake argument.
Level leech. Because you look at the videos about me, and they're getting 6-figure views. Then you look at her other videos, and they have no views. And now you know why she's doing this.
True.
Ethel relies on me to push her content so much, we could call her a sugar baby. I can't even bother going into the other...
God, dude, what the
my
fuck?
Brain melting listening to this dumb bitch. I had a Tumblr post up effectively saying my stalkers want to fuck me so bad it makes them look stupid, and Ethel called this sexual violence directed at her specifically.
Okay, this is true. Again, I'm sorry, guys. We have to take the L on this one. This is so true. Like, this was Lily Orchard literally making like a haters can suck my dick kind of comment, and Ethel was like, I was sexually harassed. Okay, fuck. God, got him again.
Ethel's open dishonesty is disgusting. She will lie and misrepresent and then make shit up about you to your fucking face. Ethel is one of the people I'm considering pursuing legal action against, because this could not be a more clear-cut case of defamation. The willful malice with which Ethel does
I would love to see discovery for this. Oh my god. Your Honor, if we could please all refer to Evidence Archive 381C, page 10 of your reader. You will see, provided for you, logs of the defendant being fucked by a dog. Like, oh my god, dude, that would be crazy. Oh my god, wow, somebody has to live stream that. Somebody has to live stream that. Oh my god. The discovery process would be so fucking crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. That would be insane, dude. That would be fucking insane. And if you go ahead and turn to the next page in your reader, you can clearly see outlined the script for the fanfic, which is short for fan fiction, Your Honor, where the defendant is fucking her sister. Like, the discovery process would be something else, bro. Something else, bro. Oh my fucking god.
everything, the open dishonesty, the way she makes things up on the spot, and her refusal to give evidence for her claims, these all communicate malice of forethought, which should be her real channel name. Whether
Malice
or not
of
I do is
forethought?
up in the
Oh my
air.
God.
I'm in discussion with lawyers about whether I'd have a case or whether it'd be even worth pursuing. We're in different countries, and the likelihood of getting anything from doing it is questionable because Ethel doesn't have anything. I have considered suing and going into debt and eating the debt on the lawyer fees just to put some damn stress on this bitch, because she is such a fucking scumbag and she deserves the stress. But I have to weigh whether or not that's even worth it. Even if you have a case, people act like suing someone who is defaming you is an admission of guilt, which is a fucked up attitude the corp.
God, please let this happen. It would be so funny. Please, God, let this happen. Please let this happen. Please, God.
America's pushed on people. Before we move on, I have to make this clear. Do not find Glade and Mackenzie and harass them. For one, as we've covered, Glade is owed a direct apology by me. But at the end of the day, the two of them are just pawns in this stupid fucking drama game. I mean, what I said before still stands. Leave me alone and there won't be any issue. And I expect you all to hold to that as well. Anyway, that's enough about Ethel. We're moving on to fucking Lele over here.
It is time. Everybody buckle the fuck up. Oh, shit. This is gonna suck, you guys.
Heads up, this section is gonna get into some really heavy subject matter. What I'm about to detail,
Sure is,
both
bud.
Courtney's lies and what she actually did, are absolutely horrific. If you don't have the stomach for this, you must leave immediately. Furthermore, this part is the most he said, she said that we're going to get. Neither of us have evidence for our claims, and the most I have is Courtney contradicting herself. So moving on to the big one, Courtney Pete. My sister, unfortunately, a person who treats projection like an extreme sport. I haven't seen Courtney in 13 years since she ran away chasing some messed up bad boy she was obsessed with. And we know this was the reason because when she ran away, we found her diary where she'd constantly written her name with his last name. She'd already decided to take the name of the...
I mean, who amongst us has not done that? Who amongst us has not? May he who is without sin cast the first stone, okay?
last person she was obsessed with. I'm sure she doesn't do that anymore. Anyway, I hadn't seen her since until about last year when she kicked in the door of my life, shrieking and foaming at the mouth, and made it clear to everyone who hadn't seen her in 12 years that she was still mentally 17. I didn't think mental age was a real thing until I saw my 30-year-old
Well, I mean, you would have a good eye for that, wouldn't you?
sister delivering the kind of bad attempts at sick burns I see.
You had no diary. Listen, no one would judge you if you did. It's important to be able to journal. It's important. No one would judge either way, but okay, you didn't have a diary. That's fine.
From 17-year-old brain-dead simpletons today. So unlike with the others who alleged crimes with no proof and made excuses, Courtney's claims are based on things she says happened when we were children, which means proof couldn't be offered even if she wanted to. So let me make this clear. I'm not even going to pretend to be taking these things seriously because they are not serious. Courtney contradicts herself all the time, making the mistake of trying to paint me simultaneously as a dangerous predator, but also as a worthless wimp who everyone bullied for fun. And those two things really don't go together.
I mean, they do actually, like quite literally. I don't know how we're going to connect these two things together, but yes, like, just because, like, you're a fucking dork who gets your shit rocked at school does not mean that you don't have the capacity to, like, abuse people in your life interpersonally. Hello?
So we're going to be covering two things, her video with all of her delusional claims and contrasting them with posts from her now nuked Tumblr blog. And it's important to do this because in a video, Courtney could prepare everything beforehand and present something that sounds plausible and maybe have someone who isn't insane look over it. But when she was on Tumblr, she had a nasty habit of letting her spike get away from her. Courtney starts out the important part of the video by claiming I coerced her into sexual games in private and details them and other similar things, like claiming I kept molesting her in her sleep. She doesn't say how old we were, but it's clearly before age 11. This didn't happen. It's straight up not true. In fact, I know how old we're supposed to be because we have the screenshots of it. On Tumblr, I shared straight up not true. In fact, I know how old we're supposed to be because we have...
Thank you again. This was in the call if it's triggering or upsetting, telling to whistle at night, but the age of Lily first is attempted incest. 6 to 7, and it was successful coercion. Okay, and?
the screenshots of it. On Tumblr, I shared a story that ironically humanizes Courtney and that when we were little, she used to be afraid of the dark and would call me into her room to sit by her bed and talk to her until she was sleepy. Something I did because at 7 years old, I love my sister and I didn't want her to feel scared in her own room. Courtney would have been 6. So we're a year apart. A year and a half, actually. Exactly a year and a half. I was born on May 30th, 1992. She was born on November 25th, 1993. Anyway, after posting that, a story that humanizes Courtney and makes her more sympathetic, she screenshotted a completely separate post related to it and claims, well, all of this. So I was doing all of this at age 7. This is medically impossible. I can't begin to explain how many things that aren't at age 7. This is medically impossible. I can't begin to
What is
so
this screenshot?
and makes her more sympathetic. She screenshotted
No comment.
of this. So I was doing all of this at age 7. This is medically impossible. I can't begin to explain how many things that aren't a child's fault have to go wrong for a 7-year-old to even think to do any of these things she is alleging. More than a few people have cocked an ear that this was rather unusual behavior and turned to me and went, Lily, were you being sexually abused as a child? And the answer is yes. I've talked about it before. From ages 6 to 11, I was being molested by a teacher, and from ages 14 to 15, I was being raped.
I am not trying to play semantic bibble babble here or anything like that. Like, if we know anything about CSA, is that it is not uncommon for, like, childhood victims of CSA to replicate it. Because they don't know any better. That's, like, not... And obviously, I will be, like, very clear here. I'm not saying that every single person who is a victim of CSA, like, engages in this behavior and then in turn abuses others. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I am saying that that is something that does happen. That if you're, abused as a child, you are, I don't want to say more likely. You're like, how do I want to phrase that? What's the phrasing that I'm looking for, you guys? It's like you, I don't want to say predisposed either. That's not the right word. Explains but doesn't excuse. Yeah, it makes it, that's a good way to put it. Like, it normalizes the behavior and makes it more likely that you'll emulate it. Like, you have an inclination, you're desensitized to it. Cycle. Yes, these are all good ways of phrasing this, yes. So, not saying, obviously, that, and I'll be very clear, I'm not saying that every single person who is a victim of CSA is going to turn around and, like, recreate that and emulate that and abuse others. That's not true. But it is true that you have, like, you are, like, sucked into a cycle of abuse where it's more likely that you will, like, emulate that because you don't know that it's wrong and do that to other people. So, this isn't this isn't like a, like, it sounds to me, and I could be wrong here, it sounds to me like she's making the argument that because I was abused, therefore I wouldn't do that to somebody else, right? Like, because I was, like, abused, I know what that's like, so I would never do that to someone else. That's what it sounds like the argument she's about to make is. And, I mean, that doesn't satisfy that question.
By an underclassman. Courtney even confirms both of these events happening in her first appearance with Poppy and Xena, and claims she did nothing about it because she was trying to be the peacekeeper. That's certainly a decision, but she would have been 10, just as the first one was ending, so whatever, we'll let it go. Granted, I never touched Courtney. Not even as a reaction to being molested as a child. As a child, I loved my sister. I may not have treated her very well, but I would have never done something like that to her. But very long-term abuse gives her a really eye-catching sob story. Lily molested me when I was a baby, never mind the fact that nothing about that adds up, is a really eye-catching sob story to rope in the drama whores. But she's trying to paint me as someone who was just born wrong, who was genetically rotten and came out of the womb a vile monster, which is not real. It's not a real thing that happens. No child does these things of their own volition. Courtney then alleges I snuck into a room at age 11 and inquired about incest. This is not true. I did not know what incest was until I was 15, when a youth care worker told me what it was. Why did a youth care worker have to explain it to me? We'll get to that. She then tries to show screenshots proving that I'm into incest.
Well, I'm gonna, like, psychoanalyze for a second. This doesn't sound like somebody who is, like being honest to me. Like, it just doesn't, it feels inauthentic. And I hate to be a vibes kind of guy, you guys. I hate to go with the vibes. But it just doesn't feel authentic to me. Like, it feels like we're just kind of, like, retroactively, like, making shit up. That's how it feels to me. My opinion. It's my perspective.
And what she shows is 2 characters from a video game, a post of me saying my guilty pleasure trope is someone utterly adoring someone they're close to, and a dumb meme. All of this with her quoting something I never said. I guess she's trying to claim that because my profile pic when she took those screenshots was Iris, that Iris and Kira are supposed to be representations of me and her, which is not the case. This is the problem. She knows her claims against me as a child, which are painted with deliberate malice, don't hold up on their own because, like, are you stupid? 7-year-olds don't do that. So she's trying to claim Lily's still like this.
They can, and they do, because they're emulating abuse. Yes? Oh my god, dude.
But it's hard for her to do that. For full disclosure, these 2 are Gorian's Ward and Imwen, who are the best of friends with a closeness that borders on romantic.
No, please don't expose me to more terminal levels of radiation.
No. Second adventure. And these 2 are Iris and Kira, 2 original characters of mine. Iris is a mute clinical psychologist, and Kira is her sister.
No,
and the 2 of them live together along with
no
Kira's wife,
fanfic. No.
They've been very close their entire lives, to the point other people get weird about it. I've always favored high intimacy relationships in all their forms. Friends, partners, and siblings being very close and very touchy-feely and adoring each other. I live for that shit. And this post here about, the friendship's real when there's a rumor you're gay for each other, is a joke about the fact that when people are really close, others assume their relationship is romantic.
Yeah, but you don't make that joke about siblings. No.
Hell, this is the entire premise behind Courtney's accusations. I read this as one way, therefore it is, and therefore you're weird. Like, no, honey, that's literally the joke. The joke is amatonormativity. Like, that's her whole shtick.
The joke, you guys, you stupid bitches. The joke is incest, lol. Are you dumb? Like, what is happening?
Oh, Lily talked about one of the most infamous and positively received mods for one of the most popular RPGs ever made. Clearly that means she's down bad for me specifically. Hell, she does this a second time where she claims that because my favorite Family Guy character is Meg, that's proof of my guilt? What? I like Meg because...
Wasn't this in regards to fanfic about Meg and Chris fucking? Like, please, bro, please, take my ears, please, take them. I don't need them anymore.
She's the black sheep of the family. She just like me for real. Hey! You know who I don't like, and who you are awfully similar to? Then she goes on to claim that I would steal her underwear.
Did I just confirm?
You know who I don't like, and who you are awfully similar to? Then she goes on to claim that I would
I just confirmed! Oh my
steal
god.
her underwear off her... Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, was Megan her OC?
She goes on to claim that I would steal her underwear off her
that's
body
so
at
much better.
night,
Thank you,
all
Gordy.
without her waking up and screaming and beating the shit out of me. There are so many levels with which that doesn't work. You know, Court, stealing them out of your dresser would have been a much more plausible lie. She then goes on to claim that she told our father about all this, apparently giving him a handwritten list that my father gave to my psychiatrist, who told our father not to leave me alone with Courtney under any circumstances. Now, the list never happened, but the psychiatrist did. Wait, Lily, if there was no list or confession, why would the psychiatrist tell your father not to leave her alone with you? Because I confessed to my psychiatrist what Courtney had done to me. This order wasn't for Courtney's safety, it was for mine. See, Courtney made a grave error in judgment because she's been simultaneously trying to paint me as some dangerous predator, but she's also really vindictive and sadistic, and so she would include every humiliating story about me she could think of. One of them was to rub it in my face about how much our parents hated me. I showed it in a video. It's this post. You know what, Lily? Let's run with your Courtney is the favorite narrative. You know, our mother told me about once a month to my face that I should have drowned that thing at birth in regards to you. Our father said more behind your back than to your face that you're the one we actually care about, Courtney. I'm the favorite. So that means I can pick up the phone.
You guys were adults when this happened. You guys were adults when this I have to go to the gas station and get beer later. I have to do it. I have to.
Tomorrow, say 3 words and get whatever I want out of those people. Can you do that? They drove to Montreal for me. They bought plane tickets for me.
Thank you for the $2. Thank you kindly. That is going directly into the Cerveza fund.
Even to this day, when I scream at our mother about her rapist son, she ends the interaction with, "You can always come home, Courtney. Do you get that? Oh wait, they paid to get you out of the house."
Ew, whiskey,
Whoops.
gross.
If I'm the favorite, that makes you that thing. How's that make you feel? Feel better? If I'm the favorite, that means I'm still the one that's wanted back, while you're that thing. These are the people you're siding with, Lily, dearest. People who don't want you. How's that working out for you? And then she goes on to claim, based on nothing, that I'm on disability, and then disparage people on disability. The thing about siding with our parents jumped out at me. This squabble is between you and me, Courtney. How am I siding with our parents? What does not siding with them look like? Oh, but there's a second post. While you may not know, my father, you're not wrong in the assumption that he too played a part. He was the one that spanked Lily way past what even a spanking advocate would call appropriate. He was the one that got loud and aggressive with her while he was almost 6 foot and 300 pounds, and she was maybe 5'4" and 86 pounds, and his child. He didn't give a shit when Lily was being harassed at school, didn't care when she got hit in the head with a rock and needed stitches. He was just pissed he had to leave work to take her to the hospital. He used punches as a form of affection to the point I started punching my friends in the arm at 6 and couldn't understand why they were upset. He never stopped Cameron from trying to assault her and would try and punish me for getting myself involved. Just to pause, this post seems to be where some people are getting the idea that my brother sexually abused me. No, he didn't. Our brother was physically aggressive and really liked being rough with us, and with me specifically, he would practice every new pressure point he learned. Still bad, but like the fault is on our parents for letting it happen rather than on him. I mean, it'd be up to me if I still wanted to be angry about that, and I'm not. I love my brother. Anyway, back to the crazy. He was a big fan of stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about, to the point even I expected to hear it from my teachers if I got caught crying at school. He was also a fan of I feed you, clothe you, and put a roof over your head, as if doing the bare minimum to keep himself out of prison was, after having unprotected sex, is something you had to thank him for. He was an incredibly abusive man. It didn't matter that he never punched us in the face. Those are her words detailing how horrifically abusive our parents were toward me, how much contempt they viewed my entire existence. My own mother wanted to drown me. Are these the kind of parents who would hear an accusation of sexual assault against the child they hate and do nothing? Our brother had already been kicked out of the house and was permanently living in the custody of the province at this point. They were not averse to dropping their children on the province's doorstep and washing their hands of the matter. If Courtney had accused me of sexually abusing her, our parents would have believed it, and I would have been out of the house. My father had split on his children to an absurd degree. He believed any accusation made against me. He was convinced.
I just feel like I don't like this. The whole justification or like defense of everything that has been presented has just been like, no, you. Like, I think that a natural response when you're being attacked, or even if you're perceived that you're being attacked, you kind of reflexively blame the other person or like begin to attack the other person, right? Like if somebody says something that is a lie about you, your kind of gut response is like, fuck that bitch. What a lying bitch. I would never say that. Like that's kind of like your gut response, right? Your first reaction is usually to performatively is the wrong word, but like over dramatically be like, I would never. That's like kind of everybody's gut reaction when they're accused of something they didn't do, right? When you're able to like sit down and script a video and record it and edit it, you have the ability to not do that. And it's usually a good choice to not. Because people will oftentimes, and sometimes rightly, consider that over-defensiveness to be indicative of guilt. And that, like, kind of know you. A lot of people consider that to be indicative of guilt. And I would be one of those people that would agree with that. Where if you're not able to contend with criticisms that are levied against you in like a structured way. So it would be different if I was like, you know, walking down the street and somebody goes, that guy just grabbed my ass. And I'd be like, what? Fuck you. I didn't grab your ass. Like, you're like a 4 and I'm like an 8. I would never grab your ass in your fucking dreams, right? Like, you defensively get upset like that in the moment. When you like have time to sit down and script a video and really think out what you're saying, it performative, I don't mean in like a bad way, but like when you're accused of something, you performatively react because you're offended that somebody would accuse you of that. When you have time to sit down and think about something and kind of script it out, you have the ability to offer a tempered response. And that tempered response, one, not only allows you to be very clear and direct in what you were trying to address, one, and two, it allows you to take that venom out of your response, what people look at as guilt. But we didn't do that here. And I feel like that is telling. I feel like that is telling. That when you have the ability to sit down and temper your response and think out thoughtfully about how you want to respond to these allegations that have been going on for years. You've been harassed to the edges of the earth. Like, as a trans woman of color, a trans woman is speaking, okay? Like, you have the ability to sit down and put out a really thoughtful response to this. Especially if this is supposed to be like a big counter to everything as well. I would anticipate that you would want to be concise, 1, 2, measured, 3, not emotionally reactive, and 4, organized. This sounds to me like a Trisha Paytas crying on the bathroom or like the kitchen floor-esque video. There's like no structure, there's no order, we're kind of just like talking. We're being like hella fucking vindictive, like hella fucking rude. It, like... Again, if it comes out that all this is bullshit, and I mean, all things are possible through Christ who compels us, you guys. If it comes out that all this is bullshit, I will eat my own fucking underwear on stream. There's no shot, dude. Like, this just reeks of guilt and projection. It reeks of it. It is dripping from her voice and her cadence. Like, the only way that you can, like, refute all of these allegations is by attacking the other person. I would consider that to be indicative of guilt. And most people would too. Because if you didn't do any of this shit, it should be, 1, relatively easy to show. You supposedly have all these receipts. You supposedly have, like, you know, all the evidence and what have you. It should be, like, easy for you to concisely explain to me why it's bullshit. We're still here. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. We're so close. It was mandatory autism nap time. That's okay.
Convinced my behavioral issues were some deliberate act of malice against him. He called me the Antichrist many times as a child. If Courtney had made this accusation, my life would have been over. Courtney knows this. These are her words. This is straight from her fucking mouth, which is why the truth is that she blackmailed me with it. When we were teenagers, Courtney walked into my room one afternoon and made a simple ultimatum. Don't resist or I'll tell Dad you raped me. And then she raped me that day and continued to do.
You're throwing it down, flipping and reversing it? No, dude. No, dude. Oh my fucking God, bro.
Do so for a year. I mentioned being sexually abused at 2 points in my life by 2 different people. Here are their names. What followed was the worst fucking year of my life, where my mental health, already on a downward spiral, spiraled even harder to the point that I was having
So this is a very recent claim.
manic episodes in school, made extremely alarming and upsetting remarks about wanting to kill everyone, and sometimes just sitting in the quad and wishing for death. It's hard to describe what it's like being in that kind of situation, being preyed on and having your own reputation as a difficult child used against you like this. It's a very empty...
She deadass, like, had the Uno reverse card in her back pocket and was like, no, you. Like, what is this?
oppressive feeling. There's an image I keep in my pictures folder of like a suburban street, but it's in thick fog and it's overly gray. That's the best way I can describe the kind of abuse I had endured up until that point. This really was just what life was for me, and I did not believe that there was any way out or any alternative because this was just my entire life. When you get a reputation in your early years for being a behavioral problem, that follows you until you become an adult. Nobody believes you when you complain about how you're treated. Everyone assumes you did something if you're ever hurt, and it goes on your record so new faces are primed not to believe you. And then people who see that you can be hurt and get away with it will start hurting you. I was diagnosed with oppositional defiance disorder, whose risk factors are listed as abuse and more abuse. Heads up for parents, if your child is diagnosed with this, your kid's being abused. If it's not you, you'd better find out who. After a certain point, you just give up and you stop trying. I didn't tell anyone what Courtney was doing to me. I didn't think it would matter. I already knew what I was going to hear, and I just didn't bother. I was hospitalized for the following year because I was so unstable, I was considered a danger to myself. It eventually reached the point where people couldn't ignore.
She was deadass like, wow, this is mine now. And then just like walked away and you're like, wait, no, hey.
Or write
Oh
it
my
off
God, bro.
And they had to do something. I think the tipping point was me talking about violence to my math teacher. I was first held in the Wood Street Center for 2 months, and a no-contact order was placed against my parents and my sister. My brother was the only one allowed to visit me, which he did only once because I was out in Truro. I was then taken to the Adolescent Center for Treatment, which was run by the IWK. I was there for just over a year. The order against my parents was lifted after 3 months, and the order against my sister was extended after I reacted so violently to the idea she might visit me that I had to be isolated. And at first in the hospital, I was unable to be helped because I wouldn't talk to anyone. I didn't trust them. Granted, I was doing better in the hospital even with that, just because I was out of that environment.
I have no comment.
And I was in an environment where the most you get from mouthing off to someone...
Because like, here's the thing. And here's the thing. If we're making a counter to all of these allegations, we need to be on topic. Because this does not build towards like the it was fake or it was real narrative. Either way, we're literally just trauma dumping. This has nothing... We're addressing serious allegations. We need to stay on topic. Again, chill for a minute, actually write the fucking script out and make sure it makes sense. And it's not just babble.
And it is like, I'll talk to you when you're ready to be respectful. Nobody screamed at me. Nobody yelled at me. Nobody threatened me. It was great, honestly. I only opened up to my primary worker 8 or 9 months in, a woman named Krista, and only after I received a promise of total confidentiality. The legality of that is murky. In Canada, psychiatrists are required to report abuse, but even minors still have the right to confidentiality. And given my medical records and the records they had on my parents, it was determined that it would only put me in more danger. And given that I was 16 when this came out, I was old enough.
I gotta be totally real. I don't necessarily know if that's true. I think that like, if for vulnerable populations, including minors, like if you're a mandatory reporter, that confidentiality doesn't apply. At least that's how it works in America. Where like, if you know, confidentiality, if they say please don't tell anybody or whatever, like I don't want to get in trouble, blah blah blah, if it is like a vulnerable like person, so if it's somebody with a disability, somebody who's developmentally delayed, or somebody who's a minor, it doesn't matter if it's like against their wishes. As a mandatory reporter, you still have to report it because it's a vulnerable population. That's how it is in America, at least.
Enough to make those decisions about my own care. Given that I was already in an inpatient
Well, the system sucks ass in like America as well. Thanks for that follow, Matthew. But something that is like really important, and like, while, you know, we can argue, all of us, until we're blue in the face about the effectiveness of the criminal justice system and, you know, fucking social services and what have you. We can argue till we're blue in the face. That's fine. Reporting is really important because it builds like a paper trail. And I say the same thing about like HR. Everybody's like, HR sucks, HR sucks, HR sucks. They don't care. They're just there to protect the company. Yeah, they are there to protect the company. And you know what looks really bad on the company? When they have like a history of like people reporting shit and they don't do anything about it. That looks really bad for the company. And their interest is to protect the company. So you should take advantage of that system. And you can say the same thing for CPS, APS, like any of those systems. Report it, report it, report it, report it, report it, report it, report it. Even if they just come out to the house and like look around with their little clipboard and leave and you never fucking hear from them again, it is written down somewhere. That is important. That is important. That way, when something fucking cuckoo bananas happens, you know, God forbid something cuckoo bananas happens, and they look at the records and they look back and they say, wow, somebody visited this house 20 times. And it says here, you know, that this, and this was documented. Why was nothing done about this? We're going to do something about it now. Okay? Because eventually, somebody's job is on the line when shit does not get done like it's supposed to be done. Okay? And that self-preservation is very valuable to people that work in the social services. Okay? So, again, even if you're like, oh, no, they're not going to do anything. Oh, like, nothing's going to happen or whatever. Report it. Some fucking boob with a clipboard is going to write it down somewhere, and that is documented. And that documentation is really important.
There wasn't an immediate threat to me that had to be acted on in that moment. Luckily, when I returned home, whatever had possessed Courtney to do this apparently faded, and she didn't trouble me ever again. Now, some of you may be thinking, hang on, wouldn't Courtney have been 13 when this happened? You argued a 7-year-old couldn't do this without outside stimuli. What about a 13-year-old? Truthfully, you're right. There had to be something, but I don't know what it is. I mean, my first thought is abuse. What she was doing to me is about the only thing that gives any credence to the idea that our brother was doing something to her. But that's just my own wild speculation. It could have been someone else. It's not like she's gonna tell us the truth. But given the fact that she's in her 30s, taking my name and spends a lot of her time concocting this fantasy that I'm secretly into her, I mean, what other fucking conclusion am I supposed to draw here? All I know is there was something.
That's such a horrible way to describe that. Like, if there was ever a serious video to make, I think this would be it. Just like kind of chill for a minute. If there was ever a video where you were gonna like kind of be like, okay, let's like kind of keep it. This would be it. You know?
The Courtney's responsibility for her actions is up in the air, and she's more interested in poisoning the well and covering her ass. I know the stalkers who are deeply invested in hating me will dismiss this, but Courtney's already detailed how the environment we grew up in doesn't support her claims against me. These are her own words contradicting her. Courtney's abuse had long-lasting consequences. I was messed up for a long time. Actually, no, granted, it wasn't entirely Courtney. I mean, like, the rest of the family, with the exception of Cameron, had a pretty big hand in it. I couldn't have healthy relationships with people because of it. I was unstable. I'd freak out if anyone touched me. I became reclusive when I finally moved out on my own. This is difficult for me to talk about because I know most of these little parasites are gonna scream lies based on nothing. Katie claims in her big video about me that she used hard evidence, but we've already gone through her evidence. It's nothing. And what little there is contradicts what people are saying. And these morons take it at face
not
value.
really.
Courtney has no proof other than pointing at unrelated things and going, this is proof. You want me. Admittedly, I don't have proof either, other than her own words describing the way our home environment was set up to enable the abuse I suffered. Courtney claims one thing in her video, but we have proof of her contradicting herself. Courtney admits she was the favorite, that they adored her. She has admitted to it and tried to lie about it later. She incessantly swaps between trying to accuse me of being a predator and trying to humiliate me with embarrassing stories of me showing the red flags of abuse. Courtney is trying to claim that I want to fuck her based on the video games I play, while she's calling herself...
Is that really a leap? Is that really a leap? If you commission My Little Pony fanfic of you, like, fucking your sister, or, like, if you play, like, incest porn games because you think it's hot, like, isn't, like, I don't know, like, I'm not that smart, guys. I would assume that if somebody did all of those things, I would think they would want to fuck their sister. And maybe that's a me thing, okay? That could be just a me thing. But I do think that if you are commissioning drawn porn of you raping your sister and you play incest games because you think they're hot and it's sister incest, yes, I think that a normal, rational human being that just happened to stumble upon this would conclude that you want to fuck your sister, yeah.
Courtney Orchard. I changed my name to Orchard long after she left. It isn't her name, and this is just fucking weird. And before she went on this warpath, she actually reached out to me. Hey, it's Courtney. We need to talk. I can't imagine the fuckers who birthed us in any way are supportive. Supportive of what? I don't know. And I blamed you for a lot in our childhood that wasn't actually your fault. I'd like to change that. Text me or call me it. She did this on DeviantArt. I didn't see it. I logged into DeviantArt once in a blue moon, and I guess because I didn't answer in time, she started doing this. And then while she was having a bender on Tumblr, she kept bitching about the fact that I wouldn't talk things out with her. I mean, do I need to draw you a fucking map?
Hey, Angie, about earlier. Kill your whole fucking family. Work's really stressful. Little cocksucking piece of shit.
Let me make this clear. I don't want you going after Courtney over this. It's just like I said with the others. Her own words contradicting themselves aside, you only have my word that this even happened. This isn't even for the people who've already decided they don't like me. I'll never convince them because they've wrapped up too much ego in hating me. I've never wanted to discuss Courtney's abuse outside of, like, my therapists. I was prepared to take it to my fucking grave because I hate reliving it. I hate the person I became during it. I hate the person I was during my childhood. I hate Jerry Pete so much. I hate how he just gave up. I hate how he laid down and waited for death that wasn't coming. I hate how he let all of this happen to him with only screaming matches in response. I hate how he was so resigned to his own abuse, he would try and convince himself this is fine. People hear about what happened to me and they're surprised I'm not addicted to drugs or that I haven't killed anyone. I don't want to relive being him by going into more detail than I already have. The only one who knows the details is my wife. Our parents now know what Courtney has done, but they don't know the gory details, and it will stay that way. Courtney's behavior now, particularly taking my name...
They could just log onto your YouTube channel, Queen, and it's right there.
should be called out as the very creepy, obsessive behavior it is. But going after her over her sexual abuse, that should be my call to make. But I'll be honest with you, this woman terrifies me. Everyone else is a loser mauling over unrelated crap and clout chasing like crazy. And Brittany may be a terminally friendless forever alone type, but Courtney is just straight up insane. I don't want Courtney in that way. I never have. I don't want Courtney near me. I shudder to think what might have happened to me if I had answered that message in time, because given her behavior, she did not have altruistic intentions. The fact that she reached out saying she wanted to make amends for blaming me for things that weren't my fault, and then goes on a tirade that she's been on for over a year now, which is the truth here? She talks about how she suffered serious abuse and then has to garnish it with all these petty teenage girl digs at me. Why is she so distracted? If you had a story about abuse, wouldn't you stick to it? Hell, she's made the same accusations against—
Hello, pot, meat, kettle? Is that not the criticism we've had the entire time?
our brother and father before. Sure, Courtney, you're getting passed around like a fucking piñata. I was in therapy for a long time dealing with the consequences of her abuse. I've had a lot of complicated feelings about my sister over the years. Some days I've hated her. Other days I wanted to forgive her. I know that sounds absolutely fucking crazy. I have that thought and I think, what the fuck is wrong with me? But when I look at this, Courtney, you frighten me. I think I dodged a bullet not answering that message in time. Whatever you're doing now, I have no reason to believe answering that would not have been 10 times worse. Stay the hell away from me.
What is left? What else do we
I
have?
have to do this. As we've gone through, the evidence against me is literally nothing. Screenshots with no names attached, anonymous messages saying, trust me, bro. Assumptions made about my audience to claim that I am grooming thousands of children at once just by existing in public, which is such nakedly obvious transphobia. This is what conservatives say about trans femmes all the time. Lily initiated unwanted physical roleplay with me, says someone who shows a screenshot of her initiating it. Lily confessed to sexual sadism to my face, says someone who shows a screenshot with no names, profile pictures, or timestamps. Lily doing 18+ content in her own space is grooming because her audience is mostly minors.
It's not your own space. It's YouTube.
Audience is not mostly minors. Lily raped me as a child and her parents did nothing. Says someone who then details how her parents hated me so much they wouldn't have protected me from anything and assumed the worst of me at all times. Lily is faking her heritage, says someone with the exact same claim to their own heritage as me. At every avenue they are asked to show proof and make excuses, usually saying the lack of proof is more proof to my guilt. This is the most ridiculous shit show I've ever seen in my fucking life. When YouTubers get clapped for preying on minors, there's entire dossiers of evidence. And there's none of that here. And my accusers keep bounding back and forth between accusing me of heinous crimes and trying to humiliate me and dunk on me at every turn. KP and Brittany were cackling in this fucking video. They don't take their own garbage seriously. Brittany and Courtney are fucking Kiwi Farms users. These people claim to have definitive proof that I'm some kind of super predator who can't hide her crimes, and they won't do anything about it. Oh, the cyber tip line hung up on me. Bullshit! Oh, well, we can't have her arrested because we don't live in our country. That's not how anything works. Oh, well, all cops are bastards and won't do anything. You're already priming yourself.
Ethel, that was,
innocent, and you
Ethel,
won't bother
was,
trying to vindicate yourself in that? These people will screech and scream and act like complete shit-slinging gibbons about how they know I'm a monster and have proof of it. And then they show nothing and do nothing. They'll show things that openly reveal themselves to be liars in real time. They make excuses for why they don't have to do anything and just keep farming content. It's not even that I haven't been charged with anything. Nobody's even checked. I've never been questioned by police. I've never been bothered by law enforcement. And when people who don't have a grudge against me look into these claims, they find the same nothing I've just detailed. The fucking Canadian military is looking at this crap because of what Courtney's been claiming about my brother, and they can't believe the lunacy of what they're looking at. These people cannot be putting off red flags for abusers and liars any harder, and all those red flags get ignored. Why? Well, the audience for this garbage has already admitted to why. I unsubscribed from Lily's channel because she has a pure hatred for anime, and the way she insulted anime fans by calling them disgusting weebs. When Lily made a video called Steven Universe is Garbage and Here's Why, and her Dungeon Meshi video came out, I knew it was the last straw for me and suffered a mental breakdown because of her.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
That's what all this is about? You guys are losing your fucking minds because I said some cartoons were cringe?
Oh my god, how much is fucking left of this? Are we done yet?
Always been about.
Don't like. I've been defamed, harassed, assaulted in real life, had death threats made against me.
Oh, fuck.
I've been pedo-jacketed, stalked, doxxed, I've been perved on, I've been sexually harassed, I've been forced to see into the deranged lunacy that is my incestuous heathen of a sister's head. I've had friends take our falling out so personally they've rescinded their consent for things years after the fact and tried to make me out to be a sexual abuser. I've had people who cannot obey a single boundary in their goddamn life turn around and act like I'm the problem for it. I get crap for being short-tempered with my audience over boundaries or the fact that they immediately do the thing I ask them not to do. But you've now seen into the abyss of over a decade of harassment, gaslighting, flagrantly ignored boundaries, and abuse. If you've ever wondered why is she like this, this is why I'm like this. You can't be treated for 20 fucking years like your own consent and feelings on anything doesn't matter and then not be upset when people continue to do it. This is why I'm so raw about people recommending me shit, because it's just the flagrant disregard of my boundaries that I'm so sick of. I'm sick of being treated like my boundaries don't matter, which means, yeah, sometimes I lash out at someone who didn't really do anything malicious in retrospect. If that was ever you, I'm sorry, but it has been my entire life of shit like this. I know I can be nasty to my audience sometimes, which is why—
Sorry guys that I just screamed at you for like 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. What the fuck was this? Oh my god, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. You guys, that took us so long to watch an hour-long video. Oh my god. What in the actual fuck, dude? Videos fucking a dog, huh? And she doesn't deny that there were pictures of her fucking a dog. That was never addressed. The dog fucking was never addressed, and that was my biggest question. To be completely honest, if there was one thing that was going to be addressed in that segment, I was hoping that there would at least be like I definitely didn't fuck a dog. Like, you know, I was hoping that there would be some resolution for the inner conflict that I feel. But I don't think that I can ever know peace ever again in my life. I think that I am now a prisoner in my own mind palace forever. That's quite a wow. Because if I'm being honest with you guys, I think that I would want to address the dog fucking, like, personally. Like, if somebody wrote like a dossier about me and they were like, yeah, and Malcolm fucked a dog, I'd be like, okay, pause. Before we get too far down the road, you guys, I would like to address this. Like, we weren't even interested in clarifying the